Chapter 709. Chu Yang's body had changed. Of course, it was not only his figure and appearance that had changed. His body's toughness, potential, and so on had also undergone a great change. Now, although he was in the state of a child, his tender and fair little hands could break a low-ascending soul-tier sword with just the strength of his fingers. He could even crush a broken sword into powder with his palms. Chu Yang's life essence had risen to another level. His physical body was incomparably powerful, much more powerful than before. In his cultivation level, no one could stand shoulder to shoulder with him. At the same time, his spiritual power had also increased greatly, becoming more and more vigorous, as if a large sun had entered his body. These were all initial changes, which would have a profound impact on his martial path in the future. Chu Yang used the celestial manifestation apparatus and the genius martial spirit to deduce, wanting to see if there were any astonishing benefits that he did not know about this reincarnation. Soon, his mind shook. Reincarnation. He could actually use reincarnation, causing people to rapidly age and die in the reincarnation, and also rejuvenating people to a child. This was too shocking. This was equivalent to Chu Yang obtaining a great mystical power. Coupled with the path to heaven from before, he now had two great mystical powers. The more Chu Yang experienced, the more surprised he was. In the end, he found the biggest flaw: Xiao Guai. Xiao Guai was practically his name card now. As long as people saw Xiao Guai, they would immediately think of him. He immediately stared at Xiao Guai and said fiercely, "Xiao Guai, immediately become a size smaller for me. Also, become a little more adorable, or I won't be able to clear my mind." Yeah. Xiao Guai cried out angrily. "Why? I don't want it, even if you beat me to death." Then, when it saw Chu Yang's current appearance, it laughed and rolled on the ground again. Chu Yang glared. "Why? It's simple. No one can recognize my current appearance. You are Grandpa's biggest flaw. If you don't become smaller, I'll immediately throw you back to the 5 Elements sect to avoid exposing my identity." This was the truth. With Chu Yang's current appearance, no one would be able to recognize him. However, Xiao Guai didn't break down. Chu Yang was the first to break down. He was originally fierce to Xiao Guai, but when he heard his own voice being so tender, his face fell and he almost broke down again. What the fuck, Grandpa Chu is an unyielding man, an iron-blooded man. Such a tender voice, Grandpa Chu really wants to die. Chu Yang really wanted to hug his head and cry. "Boss, you can change your appearance." As soon as Xiao Hei's voice rang out, Chu Yang was immediately overjoyed. How could he have forgotten about this? "Haha, Xiao Hei, I love you so much. Kaka." With the sound of bones cracking, Chu Yang's body immediately grew taller and returned to his original size. But when he looked in the mirror, "Ah!" he screamed again. At this moment, Chu Yang had delicate features hidden in the corners of her eyes. Her voice was soft and gentle. Her icy skin was naturally thin, and her white wrists were as white as snow. Her smile was like a spring peach, and her hair was like a jade bun. Her lips were like cherry blossoms, and her teeth were fragrant. Her hands were really soft, her skin was like cream, and her teeth were like pearls. What a beauty! Chu Yang also found that after he changed, he didn't even have an Adam's apple. He had completely turned into a beautiful woman. Fuck, I'll become like this after I recover? I'll be so beautiful that other beauties will feel ashamed of their inferiority. I'm so beautiful that I want to beat myself up violently. Chu Yang dared to guarantee that as long as he wore women's clothes, he would definitely be more beautiful than those peerless beauties. He would be even more elegant, like an immortal. I don't want to live anymore. Chu Yang howled in grief. He was filled with endless hatred. He crushed the mirror in his hand that had been transformed from spiritual energy. Then, he hammered the ground. A rumbling sound was heard. The ground split open. Huge rocks were shattered. Several towering ancient trees were smashed into pieces. It was a mess. In the end, he tried to change again, but he was still as beautiful as before. He used the golden origin to transform it into armor. Immediately, the golden armor shone brightly. In the end, he found that the graceful bearing of a woman was completely revealed. That kind of valiance and formidableness was even better than that of a heroine. "I'm fucking her again," Chu Yang cursed. If others were to find out that he was like this, they would probably be speechless and even more despise him. He had become delicate and flawless. He was clearly secretly happy, but he deliberately put on a look of anger. It was really extremely hypocritical. "Forget it, I'd rather be a little brat." Chu Yang surrendered in the end. He couldn't tell the difference between a man and a woman. He was even more intolerable. His anger was also completely vented on Lil Guai. "Lil Guai, immediately change for me." His fierce appearance made Lil Guai laugh crazily. Lil Guai and Lil Six were also roaring with laughter. In the end, Lil Guai changed a little. Its five-colored fur became pure white. Its body also became slightly smaller, but one could still see its original appearance. However, this was already Lil Guai's limit. Chapter 710. 3 days later, at the intersection of the sea and the sky, a rough and wild city jumped out, directly imprinting itself into Chu Yang's eyes. For a moment, he felt as if a huge sea beast had suddenly drilled out of the sea. Whoosh! The sea wind was fierce, blowing from afar. When it arrived in front of Chu Yang, the wind was still whistling, bringing with it a fishy smell that directly hit his face. This was Sea Demon City. At first glance, in Chu Yang's spiritual world, there seemed to be a barbaric world where only the fittest survive. It was slowly unfolding in front of him. Within it, demon beasts were fiercely fighting each other, and blood flowed like rivers. To the south of Sea Demon City was a boundless mountain range. The mountain range was endless, rising and falling. There was no lack of peaks that rose abruptly, like sharp swords piercing the sky, like pillars supporting the sky. The mountain forest was lush and verdant, with ancient trees towering to the sky. Looking from afar, one could see several black dots flying in the sky above the mountain range. The demon domain was among them. Those great monsters that were originally rampaging in the eastern wilderness had all been driven to this corner, struggling at death's door. The so-called Gold Rock King, Lion King, White Tiger King, and so on could only run rampant in this place. To the north of the Sea Demon City was a boundless sea. It was boundless and majestic, and from time to time there would be stormy waves and the rumbling of the waves could be heard. Chu Yang descended from the sky. He was now close to Sea Demon City, and flying over like this was a bit too eye-catching. Moreover, Sea Demon City was definitely not a good place. There was only one road leading to Sea Demon City. It was a straight and wide road. It was close to 100 meters wide, like a road leading to the heavens, seemingly leading to the city of heaven. Unfortunately, Sea Demon City was definitely not a city of heaven, nor was it a paradise. The road was too wide, so much so that the caravans traveling on it and the pedestrians heading to Sea Demon City seemed a bit sparse. Sea Demon City did not produce anything. Vegetables, rice, oil, salt, soy, vinegar, tea, clothes, and other daily necessities were all transported in, forming a trade chain. However, the looting and slaughtering in Sea Demon City at the beginning had caused this trade chain to be cut off. In the end, the only person who could slowly recover was the city leader of the Sea Demon City, Hai Wuya. Hai Wuya was half human and half beast, a supreme existence in the Sea Demon City. Be it the great beasts of the Sea Demon region, the sea beasts in the vast ocean, or even the 4 martial schools and 4 nations, they would all have to give him face. Of course, Hai Wuya had to give face to all parties as well. For example, this time, when the Emperor Island had appeared, all parties and nations had gathered to go through the Ocean Demon City to get to the Emperor Island. He had to open the door for them. As for the competition between the various parties, that was a matter of strength and had nothing to do with him. However, even so, there were still very few caravans heading to the Siren City. Most of them were caravans that were relatively strong and could protect themselves. There were only a few small merchant groups. Most of them were taking a gamble. After all, the demons in Sea-Fae City would eat humans at the drop of a hat. It was truly dangerous. Chu Yang walked on the main road and soon a voice entered his ears. Whose child is this? She's so cute. Whose parents are so stupid? Aren't they afraid that such a cute baby will be kidnapped? That little beast on her shoulder is so cute too. At first, Chu Yang did not pay much attention to it. Later, he felt that something was wrong and many people looked at him. They seemed to be talking about him? Baby, damn you! After Chu Yang came to his senses, he could not help but curse. In the end, he had not gotten used to his current identity and had completely forgotten about it. Then, more and more people started calling him baby, and some even kindly reminded him. Baby, hurry up and go home. Otherwise, you won't even know if you're kidnapped and sold. Yeah, this baby is too cute. I even want to take him home and raise him. Chapter 711. Chu Yang was instantly thrown into disarray. Lil Guai was already laughing like crazy on his shoulder. Be careful with your words, I'm afraid this kid isn't simple. That's right, don't you know where this is? It's the Sea Demon City. If he dares to appear here, he must have something to rely on. Come to think of it, he must be the child of some supreme power. Otherwise, an ordinary person wouldn't be able to give birth to such a perfect child. Most people felt that Chu Yang's identity was probably not simple. Little brother, you're so cute. What's your name? A 16 or 17-year-old girl from a nearby caravan jumped out of the carriage when she saw how adorable Chu Yang was. She ran over to him in joy and pinched his face without any explanation. She then said, Brother Chu Yang, I really am. There was no need to talk about Chu Yang's mood at this moment. Little brother, are you selling the little beast on your shoulder? The girl chattered incessantly, then stared at Lil Guai on Chu Yang's shoulder. She even grabbed Lil Guai, scaring it into squealing incessantly. Sell. Chu Yang was about to teach Lil Guai a good lesson when he heard an angry roar. Little girl, hurry up and come back, or I'll break your legs. An old man in the caravan glared at Chu Yang, then cupped his fists and apologized. Little friend, I'm sorry for the lack of discipline. This old man, Sun Nu, was a little rash and offended you. Please forgive him. What was this place? It was the Sea Demon City. None of the people who appeared here were simple, especially a little kid like Chu Yang. He was even more unusual. The old man's reaction couldn't be more normal, and the girl immediately came to her senses after being reprimanded. Little brother, I'm sorry. Like a panicked deer, she fled back to where she came from. Chu Yang was speechless again. Not only was he seen as a little kid, but he was also seen as a terrifying one. Sigh, I'm really going to have a breakdown. Whoosh, as he sighed, a sudden gust of wind blew, blowing the caravan people off their horses. A high-pitched cry in the air also resounded in everyone's ears. Chu Yang looked up and saw a black eagle the size of a small mountain swooping down. The eagle's beak suddenly opened, and a dozen people were swallowed into its stomach amidst the screams. Among them, the lively girl who ran over to pinch his smiling face was among them. Boom! The black condor transformed into a 3-meter-tall condor with a human body and an eagle head. It landed heavily on the ground, causing the ground to tremble. It then said, Humans are the worst kind of food. Even if I'm hungry, I must swallow them whole. Otherwise, if you go a little slower, I'm afraid it'll be so disgusting that I'll vomit it out. This is for the best. I directly swallowed it into my stomach, and I didn't feel that the food was bad. Looks like I'm getting better and better at eating this despicable thing. Calm, this was not the end. The surroundings were deathly silent. Its sharp eagle eyes swept over everyone. What? Could it be that I'm wrong? Do you have any objections? Humph! It sneered. Only those with impure bloodlines like mine would eat lowly things like you. So, it's your honor that I eat you. You should be happy. Now, smile. I'll eat whoever doesn't smile. Chapter 7:12. A violent gale whistled as a few figures that were filled with wild auras descended from the sky. All of them were haughty and had arrogant expressions on their faces. Among them, there were 3 men and 1 woman. The woman was extremely charming, but her appearance was average and her skin was very rough. Among the 3 men, only one of them was dressed in white and had a handsome appearance. The other 2 were very rough-looking and had the backs of tigers and waists of bears. Eagle Gao Fei, are you all right? Playing with these low-level food, aren't you afraid of lowering your status? The key is that you ate it. I warn you, stay at least 3 meters away from me for a month. The charming woman distanced herself from the evil eagle with a look of disdain. The one in white was generally like the charming woman, but his eyes were sharper. Eagle Gao Fei, you ate shit. You'd better remember to stay away from me. The evil eagle heard them and looked depressed. You want me to vomit, right? I was a little disgusted just now, so I became stupid. The old man whose granddaughter was eaten was so angry that his eyes almost popped out. He was about to attack, but when he saw these monsters land, he couldn't help but hold back and say angrily, "We are the Li family's caravan and are under the protection of the Sea Demon City Lord. What is the meaning of this?" The so-called Eagle Gao Fei was amused and said to his companions, "Brother Eagle and 13th sister, look, isn't it very interesting now? This lowly food is mad with hatred, but he doesn't dare to attack. Don't you think it's very interesting? Yes, if anyone dares to eat my clansmen, we will immediately meet with life and death. There is no need to talk so much nonsense." One of the 2 strong men couldn't help but sneer. Listening to its words, it was clearly a bear demon. Among the 4, the 2 strong men were bear demons, the one in white was an eagle demon, and the charming woman was a fox demon. The old man was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He said, "You killed my Li family's caravan. Just wait for the Sea Demon City to take your head." "Old thing, what are you talking about?" Eagle Gao Fei was instantly furious. He pointed at his eagle head and said in a very cold voice, "Is this my head? How dare you compare me with a lowly head?" It felt a great humiliation. Everyone in the surroundings couldn't help but become even more silent. No one dared to make a sound, and they even felt extremely suffocated. "You ate my clansmen. If the Sea Demon City doesn't give my Li family's caravan an explanation, I'll see who dares to do business with the Sea Demon City in the future." The old man was powerless and could only be so angry. "Lowly thing, please pay attention to your words. If you dare to slander me again, I'll kill you later." Condor Gao Fei was extremely overbearing. He then laughed and said, You said that I ate something lowly. Do you have evidence?" "Am I right, gentlemen?" It glanced around with its eagle eyes, and anyone that it saw panicked. It hurriedly said, I didn't see anything. Then, they panicked and tried to escape, but Gao Fei's cold eyes swept over them, and their movements couldn't help but stop. "Do you see that lowly thing?" It laughed playfully again. "No one saw it, and you have no evidence. After all, I ate it so cleanly." The old man was trembling with anger. Then, he roared, "Let's go! Did I say you could leave?" Whoosh! Chapter 7:13. You've gone too far. I'll fight you. Someone in the Li family caravan couldn't hold it in any more. He roared and was about to rush out, but he was firmly held back. Ha ha! Eagle Gao Fei laughed loudly. The charming woman and the demons couldn't help but laugh as well. Yeah. Xiao Guai couldn't stand it anymore. It pointed its little paw at Eagle Gaofei and scolded angrily. Eagle Gaofei was furious when he heard that. He glared over coldly. Then, he saw the beautiful and delicate Chu Yang. His eyes lit up. I should have eaten this pretty little bastard just now. I can feel that he's reached the level of food. Eat. Chu Yang's delicate little face suddenly smiled. That's a good idea. I don't think I've eaten eagle meat before. But his tone changed and was full of disdain. But you seem to have eaten someone. This makes me afraid. What do you think I should do? Chu Yang's big eyes blinked. The smile on his face was like a flower bud, beautiful and cute. It was so inconsistent with his teasing words that people couldn't believe it. Whose family's brat was this? Was his brain damaged? Everyone present couldn't help but have such a thought. The few monsters were also stunned. Eagle Gaofei, the little cutie said he wants to eat you, but he dislikes you very much. The charming woman laughed until she was swaying back and forth. It wasn't clear whether it was because Chu Yang's words were funny or because his current appearance was funny. That yellow-faced fox with rough skin, Chu Yang said directly. I ask you to be careful. My ears are very tender. Don't let your unpleasant voice hurt my ears. You're courting death, bang. The charming woman was enraged and immediately attacked. However, she moved quickly and retreated even faster. As soon as they came into contact, she was sent flying by Chu Yang's pink little fist. Then, she landed heavily on the ground and died. When everyone looked over, the fox demon had already returned to its original form. It was a fox the size of a calf. Hiss, everyone present couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This cute child was too cruel. He killed the fox demon with one punch. They estimated that this fox demon was at least at the 6th or 7th level of the ascending soul realm. Eagle Gaofei, the eagle demon, and the two bear demons were also stunned. They never thought that such an exquisite child would be so terrifying. Especially Eagle Gaofei, who had just said that he wanted to eat this child. That bastard! Chu Yang walked towards them step by step and asked with a smile, Let me ask you a question. You just ate someone in front of me, didn't you? Little 5 and Little 6 were already observing a moment of silence for this fellow Taoist of the demon race. Of all the people you could cause trouble in front of, you actually chose to cause trouble in front of this grandpa. It's one thing to eat and humiliate people, but you still want to force people to apologize. You're simply courting death. Little 5 and Little 6 were extremely familiar with Chu Yang's rage point. Eagle Gaofei froze on the spot. You bastard, I'm asking you a serious question. Can you answer me seriously? Chu Yang's exquisite little face, bright smile, that kind of cuteness, that kind of beauty, and the domineering aura in front of him were too inconsistent, causing many people to feel confused. You're just a lowly person at the first level of the ascending soul realm, and you dare to be so arrogant. Eagle Gaofei was originally forced into a corner by Chu Yang, but after discovering Chu Yang's cultivation, he became bold. Screech! He let out a high-pitched screech and soared into the sky, transforming into a black eagle the size of a small mountain. The wind whistled and the demonic aura surged. The black eagle was like a black mountain flying in the air, extremely shocking. The black eagle claws shone with a cold light, terrifying people just by looking at them. The black eagle swooped down as if hunting, using the eagle's most instinctive and most basic thing. It looked primitive and ordinary, but it was actually very powerful. Because hunting skills were the most basic thing for all hunting animals, the guarantee of their survival. This was the most essential thing, just like returning to the origin in martial arts. Chapter 7:14. Smack. Amidst the whistling of the wind, everyone saw a fair and delicate hand suddenly grab at the giant eagle that covered the sky. A strange thing happened. The small hand seemed to have no lethality, but the giant eagle couldn't avoid it. Then, the small hand grabbed the eagle's claw. Then bang bang bang! The small hand grabbed the giant eagle and smashed it, causing the ground to explode. Large cracks tore out and the ground shook continuously. The sound was louder than the previous one. The scene was too shocking. It was as if a child was lifting a black mountain and smashing it. Everyone was dumbfounded and their eyeballs fell to the ground. What kind of shocking strength was hidden in this small body to be able to smash the giant eagle the size of a small mountain so easily? Bang! The giant eagle fell heavily. Then, Chu Yang's young voice sounded. "This beast, you just said I'm lowly? How am I lowly? Please tell me, I'll definitely change." Eagle Gaofei was on the verge of collapse. When it heard such a teasing voice, it couldn't help but feel a chill, especially when it felt a great pressure from Chu Yang's body. This kind of pressure came from the pressure of a high-level lifeform on a low-level lifeform. "My father is the Black Eagle King." It trembled as it spoke. "Little brother." The eagle demon also cupped his fist. "We were just joking just now. Please forgive us." "Haha." Chu Yang could only chuckle. He also laughed. "I'm just joking now. Also, aren't humans lowly things? You should have said that the big eagle doesn't remember the small eagle's mistakes. Sigh, it's scary to be uneducated." Such ridicule. Everyone was stunned again. "I'm the son of the Eagle Demon King." The Eagle Demon spoke again. "Little brother, please give me some face." Chu Yang looked at the two bear demons and said, "You two beasts, who's your father?" "We're the sons of the Bear Demon King." The two bear demons were very proud when they talked about their father. Black Eagle King, Eagle Demon King, Bear Demon King. Every time they heard a name, everyone's heart couldn't help but skip a beat. These were all greater demons of the demon region. Even the eyes of the old man whose granddaughter had been eaten were filled with shock. However, a young and tender voice made them all stunned again. Black Condor King, Eagle Demon King, Bear Demon King. What a tacky name. You are indeed uncultured. How frightening. You actually have such low-level names. You scared me. I will sue you. Little 5 and Little 6 cursed in their hearts. You still have the nerve to say that. You're terrible at naming things. We only have Little 5 and Little 6. Aren't they tacky and low class? Little brother, are you planning to fight to the death with us in Sea Demon City? The Eagle Demon could no longer hold back his anger. He said coldly, "Opposing us in this Sea Demon City is not a good thing." "Bullshit." Chu Yang immediately scolded. "I haven't said who my father is yet. How do you know that your father is powerful and my father is trash?" What a good reason. However, the Eagle Demon's pupils couldn't help but shrink. Everyone couldn't help but be shocked. "Listen carefully." Chu Yang put his hands on his waist and said, "My father is Li Gang." Li Gang? Who the hell was Li Gang? Was this name very famous? Little 5 and Little 6 saw the confused faces and couldn't help but be speechless. Their godly boss was joking, and these people really believed it. What are you waiting for? If you know that my father is Li Gang, why don't you all kneel down? How dare you? Chu Yang reprimanded, his tender voice resounding. Li Gang? Everyone racked their brains for a long time but couldn't think of such a person. However, looking at the child's appearance, this Li Gang seemed to be very powerful. The Eagle Demon cupped his fist. "Little brother, our knowledge is shallow. I don't know your father's name. Little brother, can you tell us so that we can pay our respects?" They really believed it? Haha. Chapter 7:15. You dare to play with me? The Eagle Demon and the two Bear Demons' faces were burning, and their eyes were even more sinister and angry. The people present also came back to their senses, a little silly and a little dazed. The little kid in front of them was indeed a brat. He really thought this was a game. "I just found out, haha, I'm dying of laughter." Chu Yang couldn't describe his mood. He was really overjoyed. The Eagle Demon was originally testing, but Chu Yang laughed presumptuously. In fact, it was more convinced that Chu Yang was definitely the son or grandson of some big shot, because only the son or grandson of such a big shot would dare to be so unbridled. But Chu Yang directly admitted that he was playing with it. The shadow in its heart could be imagined. If word got out that the eagle demon was played around by a little brat, it would have no face to see a demon, no face to be an eagle. Little bastard, you deserve to die. Bastard. Don't you think it's an insult to the word bastard when used on such a lowly person? I'm going to tear him apart bit by bit. Knowing that Chu Yang was extraordinary, the three demons were completely ready to go all out. Ha ha. Chu Yang laughed and pointed at them. Three big beasts, little trash, my poisonous mouth is my patent. You idiots don't know that the consequences of violating my patent are very serious. Hey! His little face suddenly stopped smiling as he berated fiercely, I am the great king. You have offended your superiors and committed a heinous crime. Why don't you hurry up and kneel down and repent sincerely so that I won't be too cruel? Kill your ass. Swish. The eagle demon moved, and so did Chu Yang. Chu Yang moved later but arrived first. Everyone saw a small figure appear in front of the eagle demon with a swoosh. Then, they didn't know what happened. The eagle demon was just like the eagle demon just now. He was grabbed by the little kid and constantly smashed on the ground. The difference was that this eagle demon had a human body, and the little figure was not grabbing a claw, but a leg, but the scene was equally shocking. Bang bang bang. The earth trembled as large craters were smashed open. Dust soared into the sky. Every time the eagle demon was smashed down, its entire body sank straight into the ground. Swish! The two bear demons were terrified as they watched. The originally extremely ferocious eagle demon had unleashed all of its strength, but it was like a dumb bird that was casually subdued by that little brat. It was very obvious that this little brat's strength was a level higher than theirs. He was definitely not at the ascending soul tier, and was very likely at the soul reincarnation tier. The two bear demons simultaneously stopped their movements and immediately fled. They were so fast that Chu Yang's tender voice anxiously roared, My bear paws, where are you running to? Bear paw. The eyes of the two bear demons turned black and they almost fainted. It seemed that they were the main target. The lowly humans always said that one couldn't have both the fish and the bear paw. It seemed that the bear paw was very important to the lowly humans. But didn't they say that one couldn't have both the fish and the bear paw? They were already two trash fish or two trash birds. One couldn't have both the bird and the bear paw. This was also true. The two bear demons didn't escape for long before they were caught by Chu Yang. Using their little friend's body, they were smashed to the ground. Immediately, they were horrified. When their little friend smashed onto their bodies, it was as if they were about to turn into a lump of rotten meat. Although they were incomparably heavy, they were soft. It was guaranteed that most of the bones inside had already been smashed and would soon be completely broken. This little trash is really weak. It became soft so quickly. It's not even as good as a broken hammer. Chapter 7:16. Little Grandpa, we were wrong. The two bear demons couldn't escape, so they knelt down and begged for mercy, kowtowing loudly. They didn't care about their bear faces at all, and didn't care about the reputation of their father, the bear demon king. Everyone who saw this scene couldn't help but sigh. These demons were high and mighty just now, looking down on humans as lowly and unpalatable food. But now they were kneeling down to lowly humans, and they might even become food for their own food. Bullshit, what little grandpa? Call me Big Grandpa. Have some bear heart, I've never seen two bears as stupid as you. Yes, yes, yes. Big Grandpa, we are the most stupid bears in the world. The two bear demons knelt down and begged for mercy, crying for their parents. No one bullied bears like this. That's more like it. Chu Yang muttered, You have such a good attitude when admitting your guilt, but what about my bear paws? Then, he glared at them. You two bears, have you ever eaten a human before? No, no, definitely not. I'll be struck by lightning, definitely not. The two bear demons shook their heads like a rattledrum, guaranteeing with their bare paws. Ah, this is great. Chu Yang laughed loudly. This way I can eat bear paws without worry. Don't worry, you two have 4 bear paws each. I don't have a big appetite, so I'll eat 3 and leave 1 for you. Look, I'm so righteous. Big Grandpa, we've eaten humans before, we've really eaten humans before. The 2 bear demons immediately changed their words. At this time, they only felt that their bear paws had been chopped off and roasted, so much so that they could smell the fragrance of the meat, and even hear the sizzling sound of oil on the paws. You 2 bastard bears, I was just thinking about delicacies. Are you purposely trying to annoy me? As Chu Yang said this, he directly took that demon eagle over. 2 big bears, look carefully. A demon that has eaten humans before, I'm indeed a little conflicted about eating it now. But I, your big grandpa, can't eat meat or drink bone soup. I, your big grandpa, will eat your internal elixirs and your souls. Pa. Chu Yang raised his hand, directly took out the condor demon's inner core, and swallowed it directly. Then, with a small hand, he also directly captured the condor's soul, stuffed it into his mouth and chewed. His small mouth said vaguely, an inner core with a soul, the taste is indeed unique. Ferocious, too ferocious. How could this little kid be so savage? They had never seen such a savage child. Everyone present was scared out of their wit. The delicate and beautiful little doll in their eyes was really eating raw monster cores and raw souls without being able to eat meat or drink bone soup. Who would dare to eat a raw inner core? How cruel was it to eat raw souls? This little kid was simply too savage. However, what shocked them was that the savage child didn't seem to be full. He walked in front of the eagle demon and said with disdain, although I've already eaten the inner cores and souls of your kind before, I don't think the taste is very good, but I hope that you can improve my impression of you. Then, in the future, on the gourmet rankings, you eagles will be able to occupy a good spot and not be reduced to junk food. The eagle demon only had half a breath left, and at this time, it was even more miserable. It regarded humans as food, cheap food, but now everything was reversed. Chu Yang ate the eagle demon's inner core and soul raw, but he was still fine. He was very savage, and once again, everyone present was frightened. Now that the inner core of the demonic beast had entered his stomach, Chu Yang didn't need the spherical Heaven Thousand Forms millstone to grind it. He could crush the inner core himself, remove the impurities, and extract the essence. As for the souls, he naturally didn't eat them raw. They were all absorbed into the reincarnation gourd. People just didn't see the reincarnation gourd. Chu Yang kept the condor demons and bear demons' souls. Their souls were in the reincarnation gourd, and all the secrets were clear to him. He had a deeper understanding of the sea demon city, the demon realm, and so on. However, his little face couldn't help but immediately turn black. He cursed in his heart. These pieces of trash didn't appear here for no reason. They were specially waiting for me here? Chapter 717. Desolate Demon. The Desolate Demon was a huge secret. After Chu Yang learned about it, his heart sank. The Fey race actually had a huge secret plan on Emperor Island. Although the 3 sects and 4 countries knew about the Desolate Demon, they all believed that the Desolate Demon had already been killed by the Eastern Wilderness Great Emperor. However, that was not the case. The Desolate Demon was only suppressed by the Eastern Wilderness Great Emperor on Emperor Island. According to the information Chu Yang obtained from the souls of the eagle and eagle demons, the Desolate Demon seemed to be a Fey that was born from the source of the land beneath the Eastern Wilderness. It had fused with the Eastern Wilderness's land source. To kill the Desolate Demon, one had to kill the Eastern Wilderness's land source as well. Therefore, even if the Eastern Wilderness Great Emperor suppressed the Desolate Demon, he did not dare to act rashly and kill it. What was even more fatal was that the Fey race seemed to have established a connection with the desolate demon on Emperor Island. They obtained the mystic technique to extract the eastern wilderness's land source, and were constantly extracting the land source of the eastern wilderness's land source. The Fey race condensed this type of land source into a crystal called Desolate Stone. The more Chu Yang learned about this secret, the more shocked he was. Thankfully, among the Fey race, there was only one person who had the ability to steal the eastern wilderness's land source: Desolate Demon Young Master. Desolate Demon Young Master was the son of the Desolate Demon. Before the Desolate Demon was suppressed by the Eastern Wilderness Great Emperor, it gave birth to 7 Fey eggs. However, after a long period of time, only one Fey egg hatched. The reason was obviously because the Desolate Demon was just too powerful. To hatch one, it required a huge amount of energy. However, as the Desolate Demon Young Master frantically extracted the Eastern Wilderness's land source, it was only a matter of time before the other 6 Desolate Demons hatched. Other than that, Chu Yang also learned a lot. The Thousand Devil Sect's Devil's Den was indeed in Sea Fey City. He also knew the situation in Sea Fey City and the Fey race. Not to mention the others, just the new generation of the Demon region was extremely extraordinary. Little Gold Rock King, 9 Spirit King, Winged Tiger King, Little Ape King, and Princess Fox. Their strengths were all at the 5th level of the Soul Circulation realm and above. The Desolate Demon Prince was even more shocking. He had already reached Soul Wheel Stage Level 9 and could break through to the Spirit Stage at any moment. Spirit Stage? Grandpa Chu, am still confused. I don't know what's going on with this realm. You're about to step into the Spirit Stage. Chu Yang was a little worried. If this continued, the demon race would sweep through the Eastern Wilderness and restore the prosperity of the Eastern Wilderness before the Great Emperor. At that time, based on what he had seen and heard today, it was easy to imagine how miserable he would be. It could be said that the Eastern Wilderness would become hell. Son of a bitch, why do I always encounter such big things? Do you want me to live? Damn it, I'm not someone who worries about the country and the people. He cursed in his heart. However, his parents and his relatives all lived in this land. He couldn't let the demon race succeed. No, this matter has nothing to do with my small arms and legs. I have to spread the news immediately. Chu Yang felt that his reason was very sufficient. Wasn't he small right now? There was nothing wrong with that. Furthermore, even if the sky collapsed, the big guy would hold it up. Now was the time for the big guy to stand up, roar, and show off his muscles. The 4 kingdoms and 3 sects were high and mighty in the Eastern Wilderness. If they didn't stand up at this time, who would? But how can I make the idiots of the 4 kingdoms and 3 sects believe me? My words are weak. Chapter 7:18. Bastard, I'm too unlucky. This kind of sky-piercing matter, no matter where I go, I'll always encounter it. Bastard, do I have the physique of a jinx? Little 5 and Little 6 heard Chu Yang's curses in their consciousness and were speechless. Chu Yang really had the physique of a jinx. The hottest potato in the Eastern Wilderness was now in his hands. However, they felt that the demon race was even more unlucky to have bumped into Chu Yang, the Demon King of Chaos. Normally, even if someone killed the Eagle Demon and the Eagle Demon General, such a secret would probably not be discovered. However, Chu Yang had the reincarnation gourd. You didn't even need to open your mouth to say anything. He could directly extract your soul, and all secrets would be discovered. However, Little 5 and Little 6 still wanted to curse. The demon race was too stupid. How could they let such a brainless demon know about such a secret? They had caused the demon race to be destroyed before their golden age had even arrived. Especially that Huang Yao Gongzi. That plaything was the absolute idiot. Couldn't you learn from Demon King Chu, and perfectly combine low-key and high-profile? Why did you let those brainless demons know about you? If they knew about you, they would know about the desolate demon young master. Wouldn't the secrets of the demon race be bullshit? In comparison, Little 5 and Little 6 felt that this desolate demon young master's level was too low. Now, everyone knew that Demon King Chu could attack the earth, attack the heavens, and attack everything, but who could rely on his genius martial spirit and idiot martial spirit? In addition, they guessed that the 6 desolate eggs that the desolate demon had yet to hatch were probably in danger. Demon King Chu was currently lacking a sea of energy to evolve his perfect chaotic physique. Little 5 and Little 6, are you two demons scheming something again? Are you planning to leak information? The sudden voice gave Little 5 and Little 6 a fright. Heavenly martial prowess boss, I, Little 5, will not seek my own destruction. Omnipotent boss, going against boss will only lead to death. I'm definitely not that stupid. Chu Yang had a very suspicious attitude towards these two things. Two monsters, as soon as I hear you, I know that you will definitely betray me when you have the chance. No, Grandpa Chu has to be careful. Otherwise, if I get stabbed in the back by you guys, I won't even be able to find a place to cry. Immediately, the life and death of Little 5 and Little 6 once again fell into the hands of Chu Yang like before. The two apes were very depressed. This was simply an unexpected disaster. At this time, the two apes compared again. Chu Yang was so black-bellied that even they were on guard against him. He didn't give them any chance at all. They found that the two demonic beasts were obviously worse. Bastard! Chu Yang was still cursing in his heart. His current mood was extremely bad. Not only was he being targeted by the demonic beasts, but if the demonic beasts knew that he now understood everything, they would definitely go crazy and come to kill him. This time, he was lucky. After the cycle of reincarnation, he miraculously turned into a 7 or 8-year-old child. Otherwise, as soon as he appeared in Sea Demon City, he would immediately fall into a deep pit of death. No, I have to use my real name to cause some trouble and attract the attention of those demonic beasts and the 1,000 demon sect. This way, they won't have the mood to pay attention to a little brat like me. Chu Yang had just laughed when he quickly cursed again. You guys even took shift. The Eagle Demon and Eagle Demon were only monitoring one path. There were still several paths. When Little 5 and Little 6 heard this, they were speechless again. Wasn't this normal? Moreover, in order to deal with this bastard, the shifts were obviously far from enough. Those two bastards! Chapter 719. The two bear demons were scared stiff. Eating meat was taboo. This little brat didn't eat them, but he ate their demon cores and souls. Damn heavens, who gave birth to such a heaven-defying little bastard? The two bear demons couldn't advance or retreat. Bear paws were what the bear demons wanted, and bear demon cores and soul were also what the bear demons wanted. Bear paws, demon cores, and soul couldn't be obtained at the same time. We didn't eat humans, we never ate humans. Bear paws, 3 bear paws. Bullshit. Chu Yang scolded them. You two little pieces of trash, you eat humans behind my back. Do you think I don't know? What kind of lowly food are you? Damn, you're so hypocritical. He even knew this. The two bear demons were horrified. This wasn't strange. Chu Yang kept the eagle demon's soul in the reincarnation gourd. What else didn't he know? However, he was also very hypocritical. Bastards, you two little pieces of trash have indeed eaten humans before. You'll come out with a lie. Chu Yang pointed at them. You intended to annoy me, that's a great crime. That's one of the reasons. Also, you deceived a child, that's the crime of bullying a child. Crime of bullying a child. What kind of crime was that? Was it equivalent to the crime of deceiving the emperor? Little 5 and Little 6 had already covered their eyes. These two stupid bears were going to be played to death. They hoped that these two idiots wouldn't explode. If that was the case, Demon King Chu would be able to kill the bears smoothly and have a clear conscience. You're going too far. Let's fight it out with him. I want to see what he's capable of. Roar. The two bear demons roared and immediately transformed into their demon forms. Two black bears the size of small mountains burst out. They beat their chests and roared. Their roars shook the sky, and their demon aura surged. A fishy smell assailed everyone's nostrils. Everyone at the scene was so scared that they hid far away. These two idiots, Little 5 and Little 6, were already speechless. Demon King Chu wanted them to be like this. Otherwise, if they surrendered, Demon King Chu wouldn't be able to kill the captives. Chu Yang sneered. Demons were demons after all. Their true nature had been exposed, and they were extremely cruel. He pointed at the two bear demons and said in a mocking tone, "You two little pieces of trash, I forgive you for being uncultured, but I still have to correct you. You're not going too far, you're going too far." Roar. The two demon bears roared and immediately rushed towards Chu Yang. They wanted to take advantage of the strong bodies of the demon beasts to take advantage of him. Rumble. The earth trembled violently, rumbling and cracking. Dust and dirt soared into the sky, rolling in a path of smoke and dust. It was as if a bear had created a sandstorm. Two gigantic black shadows could be faintly seen, and the two demonic bears could no longer be clearly seen. This was the wrong person. Though Chu Yang's current cultivation level had dropped to the ascending soul tier's first transformation, with the eruption of the third transformation of the primitive martial tier and the third transformation of the Chi soul, it would be a piece of cake for him to kill someone in the soul reincarnation tier. Shwa. Everyone saw his young figure charging into the sandstorm. Although the sandstorm stopped moving, the sandstorm became even more violent. Pung, pung, pung. Every time there was a loud noise, the earth would shake violently, and the guards of the Siren City would be alerted. The guards of the Sea Demon City had already noticed the commotion on this side, but seeing that there were a few great demons causing trouble, they did not move. However, they soon realized that the situation seemed to be a little wrong. It seemed like the demons were being bullied. Thus, they hurried over. What's going on? This pair of guards of the Sea Demon City were all above the ascending soul tier. Each of them had a murderous aura, and it was obvious that they had killed people without hesitation. Among them, there were two hideous scars on the face of the guard in the lead. There was a cross on his face, making his whole face look hideous and frightening. The other guards also had scars on their bodies. There were many who were missing an eye or an arm, and all of them looked like outlaws. Chapter 720. What the hell is going on here? The guard leader with a cross on his face suddenly asked everyone present when he arrived. His eyes were very cold, like a butcher glancing at a flock of pigs and sheep that were about to be slaughtered. Many people were scared out of their wit. Only the old man whose granddaughter was eaten by the eagle demon was not angry. When his granddaughter was eaten, these guards did not move, but when Chu Yang killed these monsters, these guards rushed out as if to save their son. How could the old man not be angry? How could he be scared? How could he retreat? You! The guard leader with a cross on his face stared coldly at the old man like a butcher. Tell me, what the hell is going on? Bullying people and fearing monsters. The old man's eyebrows were wide open, and he said angrily, "Are you trying to show off in front of me? You're courting death." The guard leader's voice suddenly became very cold, like an icicle piercing into people's ears. "Oh, I'm courting death?" The old man was even more angry. The Sea Demon City Lord said that he would ensure the safety of our caravan. Is this how he ensures it? What a joke. Ha ha. The old man laughed loudly, making the guard leader's originally ferocious face even more ferocious. The guards of the Sea Demon City are so impressive. Isn't that right? We went to Sea Demon City to do business at the request of the Sea Demon City Lord, but his guards are trying to kill us. What a good reputation, what a good trust. Bullying people and fearing monsters, well said. If you have the ability, go and bully that little grandpa. What's more ridiculous is that they don't have eyes and ears. Don't they know how to see for themselves? They bully people and fear monsters, but they also bully the weak and fear the strong. They will bully us. How can we endure today's grievances? Without the lips, the teeth would be cold. The people of the caravan also spoke out. In addition, there was no lack of people with backbone among the pedestrians. They instantly condemned the guards of Sea Demon City. The leader of the guards had a gloomy expression on his face. The cross-shaped scars on his face were like two centipedes. They seemed to be wriggling, which was extremely terrifying. However, he didn't dare to show his power to these caravans again. If he messed up, no one would come to Siren City to do business. When that time came, Siren City would run out of materials, and he wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Who dares to be so presumptuous? He vented all of his anger on the small figure in the dust. Bang, bang, bang. The only reply he got was loud bangs and the ground shaking. It was as if the person in the smoke was using this method to express his anger. As for the people at the side, they were already watching with cold smiles. That little child was so violent that he didn't even put the demonic beasts in his eyes. He ate their demonic cores and souls raw. How terrifying was that? How could he be afraid of these people who bullied humans and feared demons? Something interesting was about to happen. Stop what you're doing. The guard leader was infuriated and was about to rush in and attack when the loud noise stopped. At the same time, the tremors disappeared. I really hate this dust. I don't like smog. I like fresh air. Boom. Something seemed to have exploded. Soon after, a gust of wind blew and swept away all the dust, clearly revealing the scene within. A 17 or 17-year-old child with a delicate and flawless face was holding a black bear's leg in his small white hand. On the other side, a bear smashed another black bear, smashing the mountain-sized black bear directly into the ground. Hiss! The guard leader and the guards of Sea Demon City, even though they were ferocious people, couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air when they saw this scene. They could completely imagine the scene just now. That delicate child used a black bear as a hammer and smashed another black bear into the ground. How violent! How cruel and brutal! Chapter 721. The one with the cross on his face, were you talking about me? A childish voice suddenly rang out. The guard leader suddenly quivered, and his frightening face immediately revealed a flattering smile. Young master, you must be joking. I wouldn't dare even if I had the gut. Humph. The old man and the surrounding people couldn't help but look at him with disdain. Sure enough, he was someone who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Chu Yang also laughed. So you're saying that you're afraid I'll be bullied by these two big bears? Big bears! Little 5 and Little 6 almost vomited in their consciousness. Demon King Chu was really pretending to be young. Yes, we're late. Please forgive us, young master. So you're so kind. Chu Yang's delicate smile suddenly turned into an evil smile. The guard leader with the cross on his face couldn't help but twitch his eyelids. This little kid wasn't stupid. He wouldn't act up, would he? If he acts up, he was terrified. This little kid in front of him was obviously very shocking. He was definitely not a match for him. Moreover, this little kid probably had a great background behind him. Please forgive us, young master. With a plop, he directly knelt down. When the guards behind him saw him like this, they all knelt down together. This scene stunned everyone present, but they didn't find it strange in an instant. This little kid was so shocking that even the guards of Sea Demon City had to kneel down and beg for mercy if they angered him. Sea Demon City was a place where the strong preyed on the weak. Little young master, please forgive us. Please spare our lives. When Little 5 and Little 6 saw this, they were immediately depressed. They cursed in their hearts, Why do these stupid bird-like guards know how to be powerful, while the demons are all idiots? Chu Yang glanced at the group of guards and waved his small hand impatiently. Okay, since you're so respectful to me, I'll accept your kneeling. Then, he said to the huge monster corpses, I'll have to trouble you brothers to move them to Sea Demon City. I want to sell them and earn some money to sell candy to eat. Sell. The guard leader's heart skipped a beat. These were all from the Yao clan. If they were sold, wouldn't that be a slap to the Yao clan's face? He was conflicted. Offending the monster race was very troublesome, but this little boy in front of him didn't seem to be afraid at all. He seemed to want to make a big deal out of this. I shouldn't have come. Damn it, I was blind in the beginning. Why couldn't I have some principles and continue to pretend to be blind? Damn it. His intestines had already turned green. The demon clan was not to be trifled with, and this little child in front of him was definitely not to be trifled with, especially when his butt was so crooked just now. If he didn't perform well, he would die immediately. Could it be that my voice is very soft? Chu Yang mumbled. The guard leader immediately beamed with joy as if he had been stung. It's not that young master's voice is soft, it's that I'm deaf. Then, he roared, Come on, move the eagle demon, and the 2 bear demons into the city. Wait. The old man from the caravan immediately asked Chu Yang, Young master, can you sell that demon condor to me? Chu Yang knew what he meant. It was his granddaughter's corpse. Then I'll give that demon condor to you. He waved his white and delicate hand and walked straight toward Sea Demon City. The guards of the Sea Demon City carried a few huge monsters and followed behind. Not long after, they entered Siren City. Chapter 722. Eagle Demon. Who is so bold to offend the Eagle Demon clan of the Demon Realm? There are 2 big black bears behind them. They seem to be the sons of the Black Bear King. My God, they even dare to kill the sons of the Black Bear King. What's the matter with the guards of the Sea Demon City? Did they kill them? When Chu Yang saw this scene, he immediately felt the status of the Demon Clan in the Sea Demon City. It could be said that everyone was afraid of the Demon Clan. The Demon Clan was superior to humans, and humans were extremely despicable. Most of the people in the Sea Demon City were not good people, but even so, they were still very afraid of the Demon Clan. I guess I'm in big trouble. The Demon Clan will definitely find me. Chu Yang narrowed his eyes slightly, but since he had done it, he naturally would not give up halfway. So what if they were Demon Clan? If he encountered this again, he would definitely do the same. How could he be afraid of the Demon Clan? He would not be at ease if he did not kill the Demon Clan who dared to eat people in front of him. Now the auction begins. The highest bidder wins. When Chu Yang's tender voice sounded, the crowd immediately burst into an uproar. Not only did he kill them, but he also wants to sell them. This is a slap to the Demon Clan's face. Who is this delicate little boy? How can he be so bold? Naturally, some people had noticed Chu Yang, but most of them definitely did not think that he was the one who killed the Bear Demon and Eagle Demon. Instead, they suspected that he might have a great relationship with the City Lord of the Sea Demon City. He's not bold. He's just a little boy. What does he know? That's right. When his parents come, they will probably teach him a lesson. However, in the midst of the crowd's discussion, Chu Yang turned his head and said to the guard leader behind him with a cross on his face, "What kind of currency is popular in this corner of the Sea Demon City? I almost made a fool of myself just now. Fortunately, I was smart and only shouted that the highest bidder wins." "Young master," the guard leader said with a flattering smile, "the Sea Demon City uses the Sea Demon coin." Of course, Chu Yang had already known this from the soul of the Eagle Beastkin. He also clearly knew that a siren coin was equivalent to a high-grade spirit stone, but he was just playing dumb. Siren coins, hee hee. Chu Yang's young voice sounded again. How many candies can you buy with one siren coin? Candy! Not only were the guards speechless, but everyone present was also speechless. Sure enough, he was a little brat. Looking at everyone's reaction, the corners of the guards' mouths twitched. Little brat, you'll see how fierce this little brat is later. If it's a little child-level candy, it's possible to buy one for tens of millions of siren coins. If it's an ordinary candy, I can buy a lot. I see. Chu Yang cupped his fists and said to everyone, uncles and aunties of the Sea Demon City, aunts and sisters, I want to eat candy. The starting price is 100 siren coins. Boom. The crowd was in an uproar. Such a low price, was it really to buy candy? The eagle beastkin and the two bear beastkins were at least at the first level of the ascending soul realm, and the items on them were very valuable. It was definitely not just 100 siren coins. For example, the bear beastkin's paw could not be bought with 1,000 siren coins. However, no matter how low the price was, who would dare to buy it? If they bought it, they would offend the Sea Demon clan. No one bid. Chu Yang immediately murmured, the Sea Demon City is so poor. There are so many people, but no one can take out 100 siren coins. This is really an eye-opener for me. I can't believe that there is a place that is so poor. It's amazing. Poor. So poor that they couldn't even take out 100 siren coins. So poor that it was amazing. Chapter 723. Hurry up and spread the word. Chu Yang kicked the guard leader, and then said with dissatisfaction, this Sea Demon City is really a remote and desolate place. Everyone here is poor. It seems that I have to vigorously publicize this place. Otherwise, no one will know that bear paws are good stuff. Sigh, I have a long way to go in my candy business. Damn brat, you're so ignorant. You're still talking nonsense. Sea Demon City is a remote place. Are you blind? Sea Demon City is close to the sea and has mountains. It's the most prosperous place. Moreover, no one in Sea Demon City was poor. They were all evil people. If they didn't have anything, they would rob. The poor people had died long ago. That, young master, I have 100 sea demon coins, bang. Before the guard leader could finish his words, a small figure suddenly enlarged in his eyes. Suddenly, a small foot stepped on his face. Uncle, now you understand what I mean. Chu Yang's big eyes were blinking. He was extremely quick-witted. His delicate, smiling face was also very cute. But everyone couldn't help but feel a burst of horror. Yes. Young master, I understand. The guard leader didn't dare to fart anymore. Remember, Chu Yang reminded, you have to spread the word like this. La, I'm a little expert in selling demons. The voice was clear and pleasant to the ears. The guard leader almost fell to the ground. He thought to himself, as expected, selling demons is fake, and the one who stepped on the demon's face is real. This young master wants to cause trouble. La, I'm a little expert in selling demons, a group of guards said in a rough voice. Soon, the whole Sea Demon City was shaken. More and more people gathered. There were also many demons. Some of them were very angry. Several people in the Sea Demon City had heard the news, and had come over together. But, they stopped at a distance, and coldly looked at Chu Yang's small body and his delicate and flawless little face from afar. One of them had golden hair, golden eyes, a handsome face, and a well-proportioned body. His aura was vigorous, and his blood chi was very strong. Golden chi and blood seeped out from his body. The root form in his body emitted bursts of golden light, making him look like a golden god of war. The most eye-catching part of his body was his pupils. At this moment, his golden pupils were like a golden vortex. He looked at Chu Yang as if he wanted to suck in Chu Yang's soul and devour it. On his right hand was a charming woman. She had a hot and perfect figure like Qian Aoxue, but her expression was not as cold as Qian Aoxue's. Instead, it was like her hot body. She was passionate and unrestrained. Every frown and smile seemed to be an invitation to men. With her extremely charming and watery eyes, as long as she looked at a man, the man would probably sink and be unable to extricate himself. The Golden Man was the Little Rock King of the Demon Clan. The woman was Princess Fox of the Fox Clan. Other than them, there were 3 other demons. One of them had golden hair like the Little Rock King, but it was very messy. There was a string of Buddhist beads around his neck. The other one had a crack in the middle of his forehead. There seemed to be something living in the crack, causing his flesh to squirm. The last one had an extremely white face. He had a mouthful of sharp white teeth and was filled with a ferocious aura. The 9-Spirit King of the Lion Clan, the Little 3-Eyed King of the 3-Eyed Clan, and the last one was the Winged Tiger King. They were the elites of the younger generation of the Demon Clan. Among them, the Little Ape King of the Ape Clan and a few others had not arrived. The Little Gold Rock King and the others had also heard the news, so they quickly rushed over. "Who is this little bastard? How dare he humiliate my demon clan?" The Winged Tiger King stuck out his scarlet tongue and licked it. "His flesh is not bad. It's not ordinary food. It will taste good after eating it. I don't know what you guys are going to do later. Just go and kill him. How can we tolerate such a thing?" The Little 3-Eyed King was furious. His demonic aura surged. "Don't you guys feel the faint pressure coming from his body?" The Little Rock King's golden pupils couldn't help but contract. This kind of pressure is the pressure of a high-level lifeform on a low-level lifeform. It's like the pressure of ancient purebloods on low-level demons. He was the strongest, so he could feel it the most clearly. What he meant was that in front of that young figure they were all lowly. How can lowly food be more noble than us? He deserves to die. The 9-Spirit King's words were short, but his voice was extremely loud. Chapter 724. Despicable Food, You're Courting Death. Bang, bang, bang. While the Little Gold Rock King and the others were waiting, 2 elephant demons and 3 wolf demons attacked. However, they only saw that the young figure was extremely brutal. He grabbed an elephant demon and used it as a weapon, breaking the bones and tendons of the 3 wolf demons. The last elephant demon was even smashed into the ground. Then, the 2 elephant demons and the 3 wolf demons were also hung up, and a tender voice reached their ears from afar. "La la la, I'm a little connoisseur of selling demons. Everyone, there's a new breed, please hurry up, don't delay me from buying candy." The young figure was so brutal that the Little Gold Rock King, King Juling, and Princess Fox felt that the young figure was a demon and they were weak humans. "Greetings, Little Rock King, Princess Fox, King Juling." The newcomer was a shifty-eyed rat demon. He was terrified and kept kowtowing after arriving. The Little Gold Rock King was impatient and interrupted him. "Tell me what happened." Eagle Gao Fei played with the despicable food and ate a dozen of them. Then, he seemed to want to eat the kid, but the kid savagely ate his demon core and soul. The rat demon immediately told them what happened. It was simple. Such things were common in the Sea Demon City. However, unlike the past, they encountered such a brutal kid this time. "Damn it!" The Little Gold Rock King's voice suddenly became very cold. "These idiots don't know that Emperor Island has opened and countless despicable creatures from the eastern wilderness have gathered in the Sea Demon City. How dare they act so presumptuously like before? Especially at the critical moment when we're hunting that Chu Yang." King Jiuling's buzzing voice sounded again. He was also very displeased. The kid in front of him was extremely difficult to deal with. Provoking such a troublesome kid might distract them. Regardless of whether it was the Little Gold Rock King, King Jiuling, or the others, Chu Yang's fame put a lot of pressure on them. This was a peerless genius with a world-shocking battle record. Even the Soul Devourer clan had fallen at his hand. "It's easy to kill this little bastard, but because of this I've moved from the dark to the light." Princess Fox frowned and said, At the same time, based on the information we have on Chu Yang, if we kill his people and humiliate his lowly food, he will probably treat us as enemies immediately. At that time, we won't even be able to protect ourselves, let alone kill him. When the little three-eyed king and the winged tiger king heard this, their faces instantly darkened. They knew that Chu Yang's cultivation level was indeed lower than theirs. However, Chu Yang's methods were extremely heaven-defying. He could even kill someone at the 9th level of the soul wheel stage, let alone them. Especially since Chu Yang was a level 4 array master. It's not that simple. Once we're targeted by him, it's very likely that our grand plan will be seen through by him. Don't forget that he has the soul-devouring gourd. The little rock king's voice made King Juling and the others' hearts skip a beat. They suddenly felt that Chu Yang was simply too troublesome. The little three-eyed king felt that Chu Yang was simply too troublesome. He said, "Why don't we let our fathers do it? It's safer that way. If our fathers do it, the higher-ups of the 5 Elements sect will be indifferent." The winged tiger king sneered. "Also, don't forget that they and Shao Zun are busy with the most important matter right now. We can't disturb them no matter what." Chapter 725. That's right. The little gold rock king took out a grayish stone crystal and sneered. "As long as the desolate stone doesn't stop, give me 1 or 2 more months. Even that Chu Yang won't be a threat to me. Unfortunately, our time is too short. We have only just experienced the wonders of the desolate stone." "The desolate stone. Emperor Island," King Jiuling said in a low voice. "Chu Yang is our greatest enemy. Before we enter Emperor Island, we must kill him at all costs. Otherwise, if we suppress our realms and enter Emperor Island, without our realms, we will be meat on his chopping board. We will be at his mercy." Those in the Soul Wheel realm couldn't enter Emperor Island, but it wasn't absolute. As long as they used a secret technique and suppressed their cultivation to below the Soul Wheel realm, they could enter. Chu Yang must be killed. The little gold rock king set the tone. "But before we find out more about this little bastard, no one can touch him. I suspect," he pointed to the east of the Sea Demon City and said, "I suspect that this little bastard might be the nephew of some supreme being there. East Continent." Across the vast sea, the east of the eastern wilderness was the East Continent. His words shocked everyone. King Jiuling and the others were all stunned. "I am not exaggerating," the little gold rock king said coldly. "That little bastard's life force origin is even more vigorous and noble than mine. He is even inferior to the Supreme Being. Other than the Supreme Being in East Continent, I can't think of anyone in the Eastern Wilderness who could give birth to or nurture such a little bastard." Instantly, King Jiuling, little three-eyed king, winged tiger king, and the others felt suffocated. They couldn't imagine what would happen in East Continent. If they really angered any supreme being there, even if their plan succeeded and the Eastern Wilderness became their demon race's territory again, they would be annihilated easily. "You are saying that someone in East Continent wants the inheritance of Emperor Island?" The charming Princess Fox looked even more worried. "Humph!" The little gold rock king was full of disdain. "That old bastard in the Eastern Wilderness, how could the people from the East Continent take a liking to him? It's very likely that he's from the East Continent, so they sent their sons and nephews to the Eastern Wilderness to gain experience and broaden their horizons." Then, they quickly set the tone. Suddenly, the little gold rock king said, "Oh no, that little bastard seems to have sensed us." The other demons also noticed it. They saw that the little bastard's delicate little face was looking at them with disdain. He was clearly provoking them. "Damn it!" The little gold rock king gritted his teeth, but he endured it and left immediately. It was the same for the other demons. "Tisk!" Chu Yang sneered in his heart. The killing intent in his heart grew stronger. "I provoked them so much, but they didn't do anything. It seems that they want to kill me?" The benefits of hiding one's identity were enormous, and they were fully displayed now. "You want to kill me, so how can I let you go?" Unable to sell the demons, Chu Yang delayed for a while, then found an excuse to leave. In a place where no one was around, he stretched his body and helplessly transformed into the appearance of a peerless beauty. Then, he put on a mask and began to search for the little gold rock king and the others. The sea demon city was very large, and it was not easy to search. Fortunately, Chu Yang's perception was very strong. It took him nearly a day to find the whereabouts of the little gold rock king and the others, but they were gathered together, and he had no chance to make a move. He was very patient. After another half a day, for some unknown reason, or perhaps because of some plan, the little gold rock king and the others began to act separately. He couldn't help but be delighted. Here's the chance. Hee, the bludgeon plan has begun, and the peerless brick has reappeared. Naturally, he caught the big one first. After observing for a while, Chu Yang determined that they should be led by the little gold rock king, followed by the 9-spirit king with a muffled voice. He followed behind the little golden rock king, and followed him out of Sea Demon City, heading in the direction of the demon realm. Chapter 726. Chu Yang visualized his assassin martial soul and used the true and false quintessence. With a surge of spirit chi, his figure disappeared like a peerless beauty as he chased after the gold rock king silently. Although he wasn't an assassin and didn't go through the tempering of an assassin, he could be said to be an extremely outstanding and powerful assassin after many assassinations. His aura was concealed very well, and it was very difficult for others to sense him. He didn't feel too much pressure either. He could even kill a Soul Wheel Realm 9th level expert, let alone a small gold rock king. He shrunk the 9-dragon bell and used it as the main body. Then, he used his spirit chi as the foundation to construct a huge brick. The power of lightning was brewing inside, ready to explode at any moment. As he flew, the mountain range rose and fell, the silver waterfall was like a dragon, the ancient trees reached the sky, and the flowers were like brocade. In a deserted area, Chu Yang decisively made a killing move. He suddenly executed the path to heaven and silently appeared behind the small gold rock king. He raised the brick in his hand and ruthlessly smashed it down. However, Chu Yang failed for the first time. The small gold rock king's senses were too sharp. Although its cultivation wasn't as high as the Soul Devourer Elder and the others, its wild instincts were much more shocking than the Soul Devourer Elder and the others. Chu Yang's heart trembled. When he was in the 5 Elements sect, if the 5 Elements Godchild wasn't cultivating back then, he probably wouldn't have been able to succeed. Among the younger generation, to be able to cultivate to the 6th or 7th level of the Soul Wheel Realm at such a young age, his talent and divine instincts were extremely shocking. He was much stronger than the Soul Devourer Elder and the others of the older generation. Not only was the small gold rock king's talent high, it was also a demonic beast. The instincts of demonic beasts were originally much stronger than humans. At the most critical moment, it actually sensed something and tried its best to dodge the attack. However, it was still a little too late. Although its head managed to dodge the attack, its shoulder was ruthlessly smashed. "Ah!" the little gold rock king cried out in pain. Then, countless golden lights burst out from its body. Feathers suddenly appeared on its body like spears and divine swords. They were extremely sharp and oppressive. With a sharp whistle, they formed a group and bombarded Chu Yang. These feathers were extremely astonishing. They actually reacted on their own, and their reactions were extremely fast. Before the little gold rock king could even turn its head, the attack had already been launched. Chu Yang was shocked, but his eyes also lit up. This was a good treasure. Golden origin energy gushed out to protect his body. In the next moment, the extra-large brick in Chu Yang's hand struck out again. With a boom, a dazzling light erupted, and at the same time, thunder rumbled. This time, the little gold rock king had no way of dodging. Bang! The large brick smashed into its head, and the spirit energy that formed the brick directly collapsed. The 9 dragons' bell appeared and smashed down again. Double strike! Crackle! Lightning snakes danced. Thunder and lightning had a paralyzing effect on the nerves, causing great damage. Chu Yang had specially prepared this for the little gold rock king, so after the double strike, it could be said that it was another 5 lightning strike. The little gold rock king's head immediately protruded like a small hill, forming a huge bump. Its skull cracked open and blood spurted out. Its head was full of lightning, and its golden hair was completely charred black. Its handsome face was also as black as charcoal, and lightning spurted out from its 7 orifices. He staggered and almost fell, fainting on the spot. It wasn't that it wasn't strong enough, but that the opponent was too despicable. It was already heaven-defying for it to be able to sense the danger. It was already a miracle that it hadn't directly fainted. Chu Yang was extremely shocked. When his extra-large brick smashed down, the spirit energy that formed the brick had collapsed. How fierce was that? However, the little gold rock king was actually able to withstand it with its body. This was simply terrifying and shocking. The little gold rock king's body was too strong. It was completely different from the big-winged gold rock king that Chu Yang had killed in the merry pavilion. Bang bang bang! Seeing it stagger, Chu Yang raised the 9 dragons' bell and crazily poured energy into it, continuously smashing it down. Bang bang bang! The little gold rock king's body swayed uncontrollably. When the 9 dragons' bell smashed down for the first time, the top of its head cracked, but it was still able to withstand it. The golden light on its body erupted once again. Grandpa, let me see how much you can withstand. Bang bang bang! Chu Yang smashed it again. The little gold rock king felt that its head was about to be smashed. Its ears were buzzing, and it was extremely dizzy. The darkness in its eyes grew bigger and bigger, and it was about to drown it. However, it stubbornly held on to that trace of light. Shio, shio, shio. At this time, the feathers on its body had already shot out, turning into a shield to protect its head. It's the reaction of the feathers again. Chapter 727. The feathers emitted a golden light, and the shield they formed looked impregnable and unshakable. Especially the aura emitted from the feathers, it made one's heart palpitate. Through this aura, a vague figure faintly appeared in Chu Yang's mind. It was a big-winged gold rock bird that seemed to be evolving into a kuan-pung. The feathers left behind by the big-winged gold rock bird that is about to transform into a kuan-pung. Chu Yang was shocked, but at the same time, he became ruthless. But it's just a dead thing. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? Overturning sky seal. He roared in his heart and used the overturning sky seal. An illusion of a mountain overturning appeared on his palm. Suddenly, the void shook violently, and the little gold rock king was flipped over uncontrollably. The shield formed by the feathers protected the little gold rock king's head, but it couldn't protect the rest of its body. Chu Yang grabbed the little gold rock king and swung it up, smashing it repeatedly. Bang bang bang! The earth shook and dust soared into the sky. The mountains collapsed, and rolling boulders surged like a river. The forest was instantly in a mess. Golden feathers fell. This time, the guards couldn't come over, and he didn't know where the guards were. The little gold rock king was bombarded all over its body. You're really strong. You haven't fainted yet, making me seem so inexperienced in the business of knocking people out. You're guilty. The little gold rock king was dizzy, and almost fainted from anger. He was the son of the gold rock king, the supreme genius of the demon clan, but now he was being ridiculed like this. Damn it, I'm completely angry. It was hard to tell whether the voice was male or female. The little gold rock king still hadn't seen this person's face, and it was trying its best to not let itself faint. Then, it felt its head directly fall into the ground, like a tree being planted, upside down. Bang bang bang! After countless fierche attacks, the little gold rock king felt as if its brain was about to burst open, and the treasures on its body were being toyed with. Wherever they were guarding, the attacks of the people in the dark would suddenly change. You're still not fainting? You're truly an unkillable cockroach. Your perseverance is truly moving. I hope you can continue. Perhaps it was because of anger or something else, but the little gold rock king's last bit of clarity was completely swallowed up by the darkness. Oh my God! This is the biggest failure I've ever had. Before it fainted, the little gold rock king heard such a dissatisfied tone, which almost made it die of frustration. If he hadn't been ambushed, if his reaction had been just a little faster, this despicable person definitely wouldn't have succeeded. Unfortunately, there were no ifs. Bang bang bang. Chu Yang smashed the little gold rock king a few more times. He felt that the other party's resistance had finally disappeared completely. He had knocked it out completely. That was close. He let out a long sigh of relief. The little gold rock king's strength was far beyond his imagination. Then, he looked at the golden feathers on the little gold rock king's body, and his eyes couldn't help but light up. These feathers are definitely treasures. Chu Yang immediately wanted to strip the feathers off the little gold rock king, but the feathers resisted very fiercely. There was an obscure consciousness in them. They didn't recognize Chu Yang's identity at all, like a chaste woman who would rather die than submit. These feathers are indeed extraordinary. Why don't I just chop this little gold rock king up? Chu Yang rubbed his chin and pondered. This little gold rock king made him very wary. Chapter 728. Damn it, it's just these stupid feathers. Don't tell me I can't do anything to you. Chu Yang pondered for a while and immediately laughed evilly. He also had the talent of the big-winged gold rock bird. The big-winged gold rock bird snatched the big-winged gold rock bird. There should be no problem now. Immediately, he visualized a big-winged gold rock bird, and then fully displayed the talent of the big-winged gold rock bird. Suddenly, a golden light was so dazzling that it could not be seen. At the same time, the aura of reincarnation and chaos spread out from his body. At this time, he tried to remove the golden feathers from the little gold rock king, but there was no resistance at all. Haha, it's working. With the treasure in hand, Chu Yang laughed loudly. This was definitely a treasure. Based on what he felt just now, it should be a feather left behind by a powerful figure of the Gold Rock clan. Swish, swish, swish. Perhaps because the aura he revealed was more noble than that of the little Gold Rock king, the golden feathers finally flew out of their own accord and landed in his hand. There were a total of 1,008 feathers, which were like spears or divine swords. Golden light shot out in all directions, and their sharpness soared into the sky. They gathered in one place, as if they were a mountain of swords and a forest of swords. Golden light shone on Chu Yang's skin time and time again, but he felt as if small needles were pricking his skin. He also felt as if his heart had been pierced by thousands of arrows and pierced by spears into a sieve. It's amazing. What realm did the big-winged gold rock bird who left behind these feathers reach? Chu Yang was shocked again. He had misjudged the power of these feathers. If he had not launched a sneak attack just now, the consequences would have been unimaginable. As expected of the big-winged gold rock bird that is about to evolve into a Kuan Pung. It's really extraordinary. Ha! Then, he laughed out loud. This is equivalent to me stealing the most precious treasure of the Gold Rock clan. Not only did I obtain the fortune of the Gold Rock clan, I might even be able to see the secret of the Kuan Pung from this feather. Clang clang clang. Chu Yang began to experiment with how to use the feather. With a single thought, the feathers on his body began to emit dazzling rays of light. At the same time, the sound of swords clashing against each other rang out. Shoo! Shoo! As the golden feathers flew, they pierced through the void like flying swords and soon landed behind him, forming a pair of golden wings. The feathers floated up one by one, as if they were golden rocks that had come to life. They vibrated non-stop and emitted a boundless golden might. With a swoosh, it opened up and was dozens of meters long. Suddenly, it carried Chu Yang and pierced through the sky. In the blink of an eye, it flew dozens of miles away. There were no traces in the vast sky. It was impossible to capture Chu Yang's figure. Rumble! A mountain in front blocked Chu Yang's path. He directly smashed through it. The entire mountain turned into a pair of golden wings and fell down. The rumbling sounds were like rolling thunder. Heavenly rock wings, heavenly rock extreme speed. What shocking speed! It is indeed extreme speed. Chu Yang was amazed and even a little stunned. If he had not experienced it personally, he would not have been able to imagine such speed. However, this feather also consumed a lot of his spiritual qi. This heavenly rock extreme speed does not seem to be slower than my path to heaven. However, it is still not as mysterious as the path to heaven. The path to heaven was even more mystical when executed. It was as if there was a divine bridge under his feet that allowed him to cross to the other side. It was also as if he was jumping through space, as if he was teleporting. The heavenly rock's extreme speed was far inferior to the heavenly rock's, at least in one aspect. The heavenly rock's extreme speed wouldn't let him feel any intense friction with the air, but the heavenly rock's extreme speed wasn't the same. The similarity was that both consumed a lot of spiritual qi. However, the path to heaven consumed more spiritual qi than the heavenly rock extreme speed. Chapter 729. Fragrant elephant crossing the river, cutting off the flow. This was also a kind of body movement, but he usually didn't use it as a body movement. Instead, he used it as a killing move. The path to heaven was the most marvelous of all the body movement technique. It was also the most unpredictable. The ability to fly obtained by swallowing eagles, condors, and rocks was also one of them. The spiritual energy transformed into a pair of wings, and with a flap of the wings, the speed of flight was also extremely astonishing. The Mahamayuri Sutra was all-encompassing. Not only did it have the method of tempering the body, but it also contained the cultivation method of essence, energy, and spirit. It also had combat skills. One could cultivate a body with 3 faces and 9 eyes, greatly increasing one's combat power. Among them, there was also a flying magical power. Even if one turned into a 5-colored peacock and flapped the wings to fly, the speed would be extremely amazing. It was just that Chu Yang didn't touch on this aspect before. There were also many body movement methods, such as controlling the weight to the greatest extent to get rid of the restraint of gravity and fly freely. This was a body movement method belonging to the 9 elements of Earth, and according to this way, fire could also be used. For example, escape fire and flowing light. This was a body movement method that Chu Yang knew from the soul of Elder Devourer. Controlling the spiritual energy of fire and flying in the sky, this was also a widely spread body movement and flying technique. Among the 9 most basic elements there were body movement, gold, sword chi in the air, and the man and sword became one. After activating, the body turned into sword light and cut through the sky. Water rises to form clouds and riding the clouds and mist. Wind, moving with the wind extremely fast. All kinds of body movement and flying techniques kept appearing in Chu Yang, like a surging river that didn't stop for a long time. However, many body movement and flying techniques were independent and not integrated into one, so they couldn't exert the greatest power. If all these body movement and flying techniques are completely integrated into one, what kind of scene would it be? Maybe in this world, I can reach everywhere. Chu Yang slightly imagined it and was very excited, but he felt that it would be extremely difficult to integrate all of these. Whoosh, he put away the gold rock feather, and his spiritual energy turned into peacock feathers, weaving into gorgeous wings. A pair of 5-colored peacock wings suddenly appeared behind his back. Pung! Chu Yang flapped his wings continuously and drew a colorful arc in the air. He flew through the air and returned to his original location in an instant. The peacock flight technique is indeed not weak. If the peacock flight technique and the gold rock flight technique are both performed with spiritual energy, there shouldn't be much difference between them. Chu Yang had a general judgment in his heart, but he still confirmed it. Pung! His spiritual aura surged and formed the big wings of the gold rock bird behind him. They flickered with golden light and flapped heavily. A gale whistled, and a single flap of his wings allowed him to fly several dozen miles. It was a bit faster and fiercer than the peacock's wings. Wings made of spiritual qi are all inferior to this supreme treasure. Chu Yang dispersed the great rock's wings, and the feathers on his back transformed into the heavenly rock's wings. Then, he tried to add the profoundness of the 9 basic elements onto them. The golden color weakened and many colors appeared, turning into a pair of colorful wings. With a flap of its wings, a loud boom was heard. The colorful wings compressed the air into a wall and fiercely smashed onto his body. It was almost equivalent to a soul wheel realm attack. Chu Yang felt an intense pain in his body. It was burning hot, and his bones were cracking from the impact. Swish! At the same time, he dashed out. The mountains flashed by, and his speed was unimaginable. It's too fast, and I can't control it at this speed. Boom! Chu Yang crashed into a huge mountain. The huge recoil force almost caused his entire body to crack open. This mountain was directly penetrated by him, and a huge hole was created in the heavenly rock's wings. The hole was so big that it could be seen from the front to the back. The speed of the heavenly rock's wings is already extremely fast, and if I add more to it, it will be even faster and completely uncontrollable. If I use it to escape, I'm afraid no one will be able to catch up. Chapter 730. The feather could transform into the wings of the heavenly rock. It could also transform into a shield. It could also unleash a storm of swords, etc. Previously, when the feather was protecting the little gold rock king, it had appeared one by one. Chu Yang did not try them one by one. He did not have the time now. He only found the little gold rock king's imprint in the feather. After erasing it, he began to loot the little gold rock king. His movements were rather proficient, and he quickly looted the little gold rock king clean. Chu Yang took out a few gray stone crystals from the little gold rock king's spatial ring. His eyes instantly lit up. Desolate stone. Desolate stone, the desolate demons stole the origin of the eastern wilderness. This was the most suitable for Chu Yang. With this desolate stone, his physical body's evolution was guaranteed. There were many other treasures. Chu Yang did not check them. He stared at the little gold rock king. Should I remove a wing and roast a gold rock wing to eat? This thing's blood is very dense. It's definitely a great supplement. But he immediately thought of the disgusting matter. If the little gold rock king had eaten humans before, it might vomit out the wings. Bastard, if you don't want me to have a good time, I won't let you have a good time either. Chu Yang directly turned the little gold rock king into its gold rock form. Then, he plucked all the feathers from its body. Immediately, the little gold rock king was like a chicken. Its feathers were all removed, and it looked like it could be cooked, but its body was covered in blood. Chu Yang's actions were too rough. Then, he hung the little gold rock up and let it float in the wind like a roasted chicken or duck in an oven. He left a message. Peerless disfiguring brick, professional sneak attack. I'll do my best to create the best sneak attack experience for you. I'm sorry to disappoint you this time. The next time I serve you, I promise with my character that I'll let you experience the best and most sincere sneak attack service. If you are very satisfied, please select A. If you are satisfied, please select B. If you are not satisfied, please select C. Your precious opinion is our most valuable asset, and your satisfaction is my unswerving pursuit. After Chu Yang finished writing, he felt that it was missing a trace of charm, but he didn't have time to care about it. He spread his heavenly rock wings and left with a swoosh. Good, very good, very good. Chu Yang was very satisfied. He could control the speed of the heavenly rock wings with ease. However, the fact that a simple robbery could yield such a shocking harvest made his heart burn even more fervently. He felt that he had to be even more ruthless, or else he would be struck by lightning. As the saying goes, when the heavens give you a gift, you will be blamed for it. When the time comes, you will suffer a calamity. Yes, that was the logic. Chu Yang had even more reasons. He laughed evilly and said, King Nine Spirit, Little Three Eyes, King Winged Tiger, and Princess Fox, I will give them all a brick. It would be best if the 4 nations, Longhu Sect, 7 Stars Sect, and Sea Demon City were all looted. He thought about it for a moment, and his career was really bright. One had to know that the Emperor Island was about to open, and Sea Demon City would definitely be a gathering place for geniuses. If he looted all of them, he wouldn't have to look for opportunities for a long time, and it would be easy for him to advance to the 9th level of the Ascending Soul Realm. Next target, King Nine Spirit. Chu Yang found King Nine Spirit in Sea Demon City. At this moment, King Nine Spirit was plotting with an extremely pale young man. Chu Yang didn't recognize this pale young man, but he recognized the 2 people behind him. The 2 4th-grade formation masters who participated in the encirclement of Chu Yang when Yongxi and He Tianqing. Young sect leader Fang, I didn't expect that we would have a time to cooperate. King Nine Spirit's face was full of smiles, and then he said, however, I don't know what plan Brother Fang has, and how do you want us to cooperate? Young sect leader Fang? Chu Yang thought to himself, could it be that this pale young man is the young sect leader of the Soul Devourer clan? It should be. If not, how could those 2 old bastards be like slaves, waiting respectfully at the side? Chapter 731. King Jiuling. Fang Wulong smiled and said, That's simple. That bastard Chu Yang will definitely make a move on the Thousand Devil Sect. As long as we quietly reveal the location of the Thousand Devil Sect, we can wait for that idiot Chu Yang to bite the bait. It was too simple. If Chu Yang could be dealt with so easily, the Soul Devourer clan wouldn't be in such a sorry state. As the young sect master, he wouldn't be so weak. Young sect master Fang, how can you be so sure that Chu Yang will take the bait? Although King Jiuling was dissatisfied, he didn't show it. Simple. Fang Wulong said coldly. Chu Yang said that he would take the karma of the millions of souls. That's why he was able to draw out the karma and use the lotus karma fire. After a pause, great hatred and resentment appeared in his eyes. The Thousand Devil Sect is one of the participants. Since Chu Yang has taken the karma, he won't let the Thousand Devil Sect go. Even so, King Jiuling raised his doubts. Chu Yang is very intelligent. So, how could he not have guessed our plan? How could he have been fooled? Who knows, we might even fall into his trap and be wiped out by him. King Jiuling, you can rest assured. Fang Wulong said confidently, the 5 Elements sect and many other forces will arrive soon. When the time comes, the Thousand Devil sect will intercept the disciples of the 5 Elements sect. That bastard Chu Yang will have to come even if he doesn't want to. King Jiuling frowned. In the 5 Elements sect, is there someone close to Chu Yang? Of course. Fang Wulong said coldly. Chu Yang is the joint successor of the 5 Elements sect's Grand Elder and Elder Huang Jin. This time, the 5 Elements sect has a little beauty called Qian Aoshui. She is the granddaughter of the 5 Elements sect's Grand Elder. Another one is called Silver Fox. He is Elder Huang Jin's disciple and Chu Yang's junior brother. Also, the five elements sect's Saint Child Zither Tone and his big brother, Chu Fei, are sworn friends. As long as we capture these three people, we don't have to worry about that bastard Chu Yang not coming. Qian Aoshue, Silver Fox, Saint Child Zither. After thinking for a while, King Jiuling suddenly said with a smile, "Young Master Fang, are you sure that Qian Aoshue is a little beauty?" Fang Wulong immediately understood what King Jiuling meant. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, King Jiuling, Qian Aoshue is no less beautiful than Princess Fox. Moreover, her expression is ice-cold, which is the best way to arouse a man's desire to conquer her. When the time comes, we'll drink and have fun with her. Do you think Chu Yang, that cheap bastard, will not come out?" "Then young sect Master Fang, it's settled for now." King Jiuling stood up and cupped his fist. "But I still have to discuss this matter with the little gold rock king. We also need to carefully consider the details. We can't make any mistakes." "Okay." Fang Wulong also cupped his fists and said, "I'll wait for your good news." Then, King Jiuling took his leave. Chu Yang heard it clearly and was furious. "Damn it! How dare you use such a despicable idea to force me to show up?" In particular, this bullshit King Jiuling wanted to use Qian Aoshue to make a fuss. As for how to make a fuss, Chu Yang could totally imagine it. He decided to attack King Jiuling first. Then, he began to sneak over without making a sound. After the little gold rock king, Chu Yang was well prepared this time. He knew that King Jiuling might have some secret treasures, so he was prepared to use multiple methods to ensure that he would not fail. Boom! The next moment, a golden light flashed, and a large brick flew out. The 7 kills sword in his hand slashed down. At the same time, every attack contained a spiritual attack. King Jiuling was very powerful, and he did have some treasures on him. The moment Chu Yang launched a sneak attack, the prayer beads hanging on his neck reacted instantly, but they were suppressed by the gold rock king's feathers. Chu Yang smashed the back of his head with the large brick. Bang! 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 18 consecutive strikes. Every strike was like a clap of thunder. Thunder rumbled and lightning interweaved. King Jiuling's scattered golden hair immediately exploded and turned black. He rolled his eyes and fainted immediately. Chapter 732. Swish. Chu Yang quickly looted King Jiuling and left quickly. King Jiuling was hit by a stick. Who is this? How dare he touch King Jiuling of the Yao clan? Isn't his movements too proficient? In just the blink of an eye, he disappeared. I can guarantee that he's a professional. That brick is so big. It's even bigger than King Jiuling's head. Will King Jiuling become King Jiuling? The commotion was too big. Moreover, it was in the Sea Demon City. It immediately alarmed many people. They were all dumbfounded. That's King Jiuling. Why is he charred? Are you sure he was hit by a stick and not struck by lightning? Hey look, there's a big bump on King Jiuling's head. It seems to be bigger than his head. What's that big bump? Didn't you see that his skull was cracked? It's too miserable. I feel pity for him. More and more people gathered. Seeing King Jiuling, who could do whatever he wanted in the Sea Demon City, was in such a state it was even more noisy. Get out of the way, get out of the way! Fang Wulong and the other two heard the commotion and immediately rushed over. Fang Wulong saw King Jiuling, who was charred, had a big bump on his head, and had a cracked skull. His face was gloomy. Chu Yang. It must be Chu Yang. His conspiracy with King Jiuling was discovered by Chu Yang, so he took action. Chu Yang, come out if you have the ability! Fang Wulong roared in anger. His meticulous conspiracy was killed before it could be put to use. When the name Chu Yang resounded in the Sea Demon City, everyone couldn't help but fall silent. However, it soon became noisy again. Chu Yang, so it's that Chu Yang. No wonder he dared to hit King Jieling. If it's that Chu Yang, it's not strange. However, isn't this method a little too disgraceful? What do you know? Does a person like him need to care about your opinion? While everyone was discussing, bang! After a muffled sound, thunder rumbled. When everyone sensed it, they saw that there was a big bump on the back of Fong Wulong's head. His eyes rolled back and he fainted. Soon after, a golden light flashed and they saw a golden figure with golden wings spread out behind him. With a swoosh, he disappeared. Everyone was speechless. Such a brazen hit, and the person who was knocked over was still hooting just a moment ago. Furthermore, the most important point was that the looting was done so quickly. The spatial ring on Fong Wulong's hand had already disappeared. Who did it? Who did it? About an hour later, a tiger's roar shook the entire Sea Demon City. The winged Tiger King's roar was heard repeatedly. The little three-eyed king was smashed to the ground with a huge brick right in front of his eyes. However, the tiger's roar was very short. After the tiger's roar, the rumbling of thunder followed, and even a brick the size of a small mountain appeared. The little three-eyed king was smashed to the ground. The winged Tiger King was also smashed to the ground. When the people heard the news, their reactions became even more spectacular. What shocked them the most was that the little three-eyed king and the winged Tiger King were stripped naked and hung up. That scene would probably make the little three-eyed king and the winged Tiger King die from embarrassment when they woke up. Not long after, another explosive news came. Princess Fox of the Fox clan, the most beautiful woman in Sea Demon City, was also ruthlessly destroyed. A brick smashed to the back of her head, causing blood to spurt out, and she fainted. She was also robbed clean, and even her foxtail was cut off. To put it nicely, she would no longer have to worry about her foxtail being exposed. The reason for this seemed to be because it was said that Princess Fox's mouth was a bit dirty, and it was even heard by that so-called Chu Yang. Then, tragedy befell her. The news came one after another, and the entire Sea Demon City seemed to be dumbfounded. This Chu Yang was too crazy. Ah! After Princess Fox woke up, she screamed incessantly. In the end, she fainted again. A moment later, the little Gold Rock King appeared. His face was extremely gloomy, and the people found that there was also a big bump on his head. Chapter 733. The Little Gold Rock King, Nine Spirit King, Little Three-Eyed King, Winged Tiger King, Princess Fox, and Fong Wulong were all in a bad mood. The City Lord of Ocean Demon City, Hai Wuya, invited them to the City Lord Mansion for tea. Half of Ocean Demon City had been destroyed. As the City Lord, this was something that Hai Wuya had to do. His general meaning was very simple. You guys made a fool of yourselves, so I won't laugh at you. I can understand your anger, but when you're angry, please pay attention to the flowers and plants of Ocean Demon City. Hai Wuya wanted to invite Chu Yang for tea the most, but in this Ocean Demon City, his territory, he couldn't find Chu Yang at all. In his heart, he didn't dare to look down on Chu Yang, even though Chu Yang was a junior. Of course, for someone like Chu Yang, who could stir up trouble, Hai Wuya could also issue an arrest warrant. However, in this way, he would be completely standing on the side of the beast race, opposing Chu Yang. This was not in line with his interests. Moreover, Chu Yang still had the 5 elements sect behind him. Perhaps the fact that Hai Wuya had 2 sons was also a very important reason. His 2 sons, Hai Shenghai and Hai Shenglong, would never want them to be stripped naked and hung up to dry. He also did not want them to have a tail cut off or something like that. Overall, this was the attitude of this big boss of Ocean Demon City. He naturally didn't fear Chu Yang, but he also didn't want to provoke Chu Yang. This person was very evil. In other words, Hai Wuya admitted that Chu Yang was a very powerful figure, The Little Gold Rock King, Nine Spirit King, and the others understood Hai Wuya's meaning very well. After Hai Wuya left, the little gold rock king and the others didn't leave immediately. Instead, they held a meeting. What kind of meeting was this? Was there a big meeting in their heads? Miserable meeting, shameful meeting, or accusation meeting? It seemed to be all right. Everyone present was going to participate in this meeting. There was no problem with their identities, and their encounters were also very appropriate. I'm afraid that young sect Master Fong and I have been plotting against Chu Yang. King Jiuling spoke first. Although he knew later that he wasn't the first person to enjoy Chu Yang's brick service, he still spoke first. Its general meaning was to put the blame on Fong Wulong's head. It's all because of your incompetence. You were followed by Chu Yang, but you didn't notice at all. However, King Jiuling clearly knew that since he wasn't the first one to enjoy Chu Yang's brick service, it was the little gold rock instead. In other words, Chu Yang already knew that the Yao clan wanted his life. Bang! Fong Wulong fiercely hammered his fist on the table. His pale face was twisted and ferocious. Damn it, how does this bastard know so much? He couldn't understand. Because he is Chu Yang. Princess Fox. Princess Fox explained everything with these few words. Because he is Chu Yang. This reason was enough. There was no need for any other reason. As for why Princess Fox would say such words, it was probably because her foxtail had been cut off. Her foxtail was very beautiful, but she was even more beautiful. There weren't many men who could be so ruthless to a beauty like her. This reason not only convinced herself, but also everyone present, whether it was the little gold rock king, Nine Spirit King, Winged Tiger King, or Fong Wulong. Chapter 734. He could have killed us, but he didn't. The little gold rock king's golden pupils shrunk to the size of pinholes. He is warning us that he is better at using despicable means. He will definitely make us regret it, just like this time. That should be his intention. The little three-eyed king agreed. In other words, if we want to kill him, we must fight him fair and square, and determine victory and defeat through a battle of life and death. The Winged Tiger King's voice was as cold as ice. Of course, it was as cold as ice. If you were knocked over by a brick, stripped naked, and hung up for everyone to see, no one would be in a good mood. Then, the little gold rock king hinted that the demon clan had something to discuss. Fong Wulong left wisely. Chu Yang robbed all of us and took all of our desolate stones. I'm afraid he knows about our plan. The little gold rock king's voice was filled with worry. It did not have time to humiliate Fong Wulong because the demon clan's plan might be ruined. Even if Chu Yang got the desolate stone, he might not know the secret of the desolate stone. We have also concealed the secret of the desolate stone. Even if Chu Yang is suspicious, I don't think he will be able to deduce the true secret of our trip to the Emperor Island with just one desolate stone. That's right. How could Chu Yang know such a big secret? The little gold rock king's face darkened and he said in a low voice, because he is Chu Yang. It was the same reason again. But it was enough. The Nine Spirit King, the Winged Tiger King, and Princess Fox did not refute. The little gold rock king's voice became more serious. If I am not wrong, Chu Yang knows at least half of it. Half. In other words, the so-called secret of the demon clan was nothing but bullshit. Oh no, oh no. A shifty-eyed rat demon rushed in and said hurriedly, Elder Qian Du of the Thousand Demons sect has been killed by Chu Yang. Their stronghold has been completely destroyed. Urgent news. Another demon rushed in. The Thousand Devil sect's Thousand Corpse Elder has been killed by Chu Yang. The Thousand Devil sect's branch has been flattened. Elder Qian Xie of the Thousand Devil sect is dead. The branch of the Thousand Devil sect he was in has been completely annihilated. No one escaped. News about the Thousand Devil sect came one after another. In the end, all the elders of the Thousand Devil sect in Sea Demon City were killed, and their strongholds, subsects, and subaltars were all flattened. In the end, the little gold rock king and the others concluded that all the elders of the Thousand Devil sect had been killed, and the Thousand Devil sect had been completely wiped out in Sea Demon City. It could be said that the Thousand Devil sect only had one commander left, the sect master of the Thousand Devil sect, Elder Qian Du, Elder Qian Xie, Elder Qian Corpse, and the others. These elders of the Thousand Devil sect were at least at the 7th level of the soul reincarnation realm. There was no lack of 9th level cultivators among them. Moreover, these elders of the Thousand Devil sect were sinister and vicious. They had experienced hundreds of battles, but even so, they were all killed by Chu Yang. The Soul Devourer clan was almost wiped out by Chu Yang. Although the little gold rock king and the others were shocked, it was far from being as deep as it was now. Because they had just experienced Chu Yang's power, they felt it even more deeply now. Because he was Chu Yang, the reason that they had given earlier was simply too good to be true. If such a person wanted to know something, he would have his own channels and methods. Chapter 735. The news that many elders of the Thousand Devil sect were killed by Chu Yang quickly spread throughout the Sea Demon City. The Sea Demon City was once again shaken. This Chu Yang is really amazing. In this way, the Thousand Devil sect is almost destroyed by him. He has received the karma of millions of souls. It's only a matter of time before the Thousand Devil sect is destroyed by him. I think the Thousand Devil sect's sect master won't be able to escape in the end. Aren't the sect masters of the Soul Devourer clan and the Thousand Devil sect too useless? They can just come out and destroy Chu Yang. It's easy for you to say. So what if someone like Chu Yang is at the sect master level? He can't be killed just because he wants to. The Sea Demon City was in an uproar. Almost no one didn't know the name Chu Yang. Even the entire Sea Demon City was in a state of panic. In the Sea Demon City, there were many vicious and evil people. Now, they were also worried that they would be dealt with. Especially a wicked person like Chu Yang, who could do anything. He was not the kind of righteous person they used to be. I'm afraid I can't stay in the Sea Demon City any longer. Otherwise, I'll be like the little gold rock king. My ancestors' treasures were robbed clean by that wicked Chu Yang. He even stripped me naked and hung me up. When the little gold rock king heard this, it was ashamed and angry. It directly went berserk again. It was a majestic big-winged gold rock bird, but it was treated like a chicken. It was stripped of all its feathers and was about to be roasted in the oven. I don't have a foxtail. I don't know if this wicked person will cut off any parts of me. I'm very nervous now. Princess Fox was so beautiful. Everyone in the Sea Demon City thought that Princess Fox must have refused at the beginning. In the end, Chu Yang used force and cut off her tail. In the end, Princess Fox obediently followed. If that was the truth, Princess Fox could accept it. However, that was bullshit. That immoral Chu Yang was completely indifferent to her beauty. He could easily destroy a flower and cut off her tail. I've harmed many innocent families in the past. I won't be like the winged Tiger King and use my tiger penis to drink in bars. The one who suffered the most was the winged Tiger King. He had only been robbed, stripped naked, and hung up. His entire body was still intact. The several peerless geniuses of the monster race were often mentioned and compared in the panic-stricken Sea Demon City. Their deeds were even more widespread. After a few days, the entire Sea Demon City slowly calmed down. In the beginning, the Five Elements sect, the Longhu sect, the Seven Stars sect, the Wei Nation, the Wu Nation, the Qi Nation, and the Han Nation that were heading to Emperor Island had stopped Sea Demon City one after another. It was an evening in Sea Demon City. It didn't seem any different from usual. However, in the One Family restaurant, it was a scene of great harvest. There was a group of people in the restaurant who were limp on the ground as if they had been hit by the plague. They couldn't move and were being wantonly evaluated by the twin brothers. The twin brothers were tall and muscular. They had square faces and big ears. They looked very simple and honest. What's this? He must be the zither saint. His body is strong and his muscles must be delicious. This fatty seems to be chow something. He's the best. Not only is his meat good, but he also has a lot of meat. As for this silver wolf something, his meat is tender. He's also not bad. The group of people who had been knocked out in the One Family's restaurant was the group from the Five Elements sect. They had never imagined that they would actually fall in a mere restaurant when they had just arrived in Sea Demon City and were about to lodge for the night. However, they soon found out the reason. It was the plague's martial soul. There used to be a minister of revenue in the Wei nation. He had offended the Wei emperor and his entire family had been exterminated. In the end, the minister of revenue had erupted and unleashed his hidden plague's martial soul. He had spread the plague throughout the Wei nation to beg the Wei emperor. He had then rescued his 2 sons and disappeared without a trace. The minister of revenue who possessed the plague's martial soul seemed to be called One-on-Mean. The zither saint had never expected to meet such a person when she had just arrived in Sea Demon City. Chapter 736. The elder brother was Wenchuren, and the younger brother was Wenchui. After the 2 brothers evaluated Qinin, Chao Ju, Jin Duoduo, and the silver wolf, their eyes lit up when they saw Qian Aoshue. Qian Aoshue was so scared that she almost wanted to kill herself. This little girl has a good figure. She's hot and can give birth at first glance. Yes, the most wonderful thing is that she has a hot body, but her expression is as cold as an iceberg. She's the perfect combination of water and fire. She's alluring. The Wen brothers were very satisfied with Qian Aoshue. The younger brother Wenchui said, "Elder brother, we can't kill this little girl. It's too wasteful to use her to make human meat buns." Human meat buns! At this moment, the most horrified was not Qian Aoshue, but Saint Sun Qinin and the others. This was too cruel. Of course we can't kill her. This little girl is the best for giving birth to children. Wenchui said, "Where can we find such a beautiful and hot girl? And where can we find such a beautiful mother for our children?" He paused and said, "Little brother, let's toss the sea demon coins. I'll choose the tails and you choose the heads. If it's tails, this little girl will be your sister-in-law. If it's heads, she'll be my sister-in-law." Wenchui said with a sinister smile, "Elder brother, there's no need to be so troublesome. We can share her. The children she gives birth to will be our children." Wenchuren's eyes lit up and he praised, "Little brother, your idea is really wonderful. It's settled then." Qian Aoshue almost fainted when she heard this. She was going to end up in such a miserable state. "Elder brother, let's start having children now before father comes back," Wenchui said, "otherwise I'm afraid that stubborn father won't agree." At this moment, Qian Aoshue really wanted to kill herself, but she couldn't. Wenchui snapped his fingers and praised again, "Little brother, you're really thoughtful. Let's go and have children now." "Have children? You guys are so active today." Suddenly, a hoarse voice rang out, scaring the 2 Wen brothers out of their wits. Soon after, an old man in his 50s walked in from the outside with his hands behind his back. Although his facial features were not handsome, he was well-groomed. He was dressed in a scholarly robe, looking cultured and elegant, clean and tidy. This was One-on-Mean, who possessed the god of plague's martial spirit, the former minister of revenue of the Wei nation. "Father, today's harvest is great. You must have a good drink today." "That's right, father. The harvest this time is much better than before. Moreover, the quality of the meat is generally good. It will definitely be delicious to make human meat barbecue pork buns." The 2 brothers of the One family immediately put on a flattering smile. One-on-Mean glanced at the saint child and nodded. "They are all martial artists. The quality of the meat is indeed good. Then, he asked, what are their identities? It seems to be the Five Elements sect. Wen Shui grinned and said, I was listening at the side just now, so I should be right. Five Elements sect. Wen Anmin put his hands behind his back and glared at Wen Churen and Wen Shui. Father, what's wrong with that? Wen Churen said, don't you often say that sects are the greatest scourge? If sects are not eliminated, the world will not be at peace. I'm talking about this. Wen Anmin's eyes widened like a pair of copper bells. But I seem to have said something else. Life is the most important thing, right? Chapter 737. Five Elements Sect. When the Wen brothers saw that their father was about to flip out, their voices suddenly became much softer, but they were clearly not convinced. Who in the Five Elements sect has so many people? What kind of bullshit question was this? The Wen brothers immediately shouted, there are so many people in the Five Elements sect. Father, even if we know, it will take us half a day to explain. Are you sure you want to talk for half a day? Wen Anmin suddenly laughed strangely. The Wen brothers moved at the same time and dodged. Father, can we talk nicely? Can you not hit me? I don't think before doing things. If I don't beat you two to death, I won't feel at ease. Bang, bang, bang. The Wen brothers immediately cried like ghosts and howled like wolves. After being suppressed, they immediately complained, Father, you should at least let us know where we were wrong when you hit us. Otherwise, we won't be able to achieve the purpose of educating us. Wouldn't it be a waste of your effort? That makes sense. Wen Anmin went over and gave the two of them a kick each. Then, he laughed strangely. At this time, you still don't know where you're wrong? Recently, there's a person called Chu Yang. Isn't he very famous? Chu Yang. This name seemed to have some magical power. The Saint Child Zither, Chao Ju, and Qian Aoshu all saw that after the Wen brothers heard these two names, their expressions immediately changed, and they almost jumped up. It's over. Wen Churen wailed first. How could I forget that Brick Chu is also from the Five Elements sect? This time, he will really knock me out with a brick, strip me naked, and hang me up. This is just Brick Chu. Wen Shui screamed even more, Brick Chu, not only can he be Chu Baiguang, Chu Baiguang, Chu Hang beaten, he is also called Chu Cutting. I don't want to be cut by him like the winged Tiger King. Brick Chu, Chu Baiguang, Chu Baiguang, and what Chu Cutting? What kind of names were these? The Five Elements sect was immediately speechless. Then, the Saint Child Zither, Chao Ju, Jean Duo, and the Silver Wolf seemed to understand. It was easy to understand Chu Yang's character. With Chu Yang's character, he would definitely knock someone out with a brick, and then rob them. After looting, it was time to strip them naked. If it were a human, plucking one's hair would be the same as plucking one's hair, and stripping one's clothes. When they thought of that scene, they couldn't help but be speechless. Sure enough, it was Chu Yang's style of doing things. As for Chu Chia, they were also fully aware of it. Qian Aoshu also reacted when she saw the strange expressions of the Saint's son and the others. Her face could not help but turn crimson as she cursed in her heart, this bastard, this bastard. Father, what should we do now? The two of us haven't had any children yet. Wen Anmin glanced at the members of the Five Elements sect and said, You didn't do anything excessive just now. Don't worry. After all, Brick Chu is a reasonable person. He won't do anything to you. Chu Yang was a reasonable person. Qian Aoshu almost rolled her eyes. This was definitely the funniest joke she had ever heard in the world. Father, just in case. The two brothers said in unison, Chu Baiguang is obviously a narrow-minded person. We have to be flawless. After all, it involves the important matter of having children. Wen Anmin's eyes flickered a few times. Let's leave the Sea Demon City for now. Tu Yen, Zhang Ke, and the others have already left. We should also leave quickly. Father, brilliant. Wen Churen immediately flattered, too high, you're really too high this time. This way, it's really flawless. Chapter 738. Slap. Slap. The two brothers were hit hard on the head. Then, Wananmin scolded them. You two idiot. If you do something like the Soul Devourer clan and the Thousand Demon sect, Brick Chu won't be as simple as Brick Chu. He'll be Chu Honglian and Chu Yihua. Aren't you two idiots afraid of the Red Lotus Hellfire? Dad, what do you think we should do? Wananmin's eyes suddenly became gloomy. With Brick Chu's deterrence and the attention of the 4 nations and 3 sects on Emperor Island, people like Tu Yen and Cripple Zhang must have gone out to do evil. Let's go and kill them. It won't be a problem to make human barbecued pork buns. We can also earn some merit to avoid the Red Lotus Hellfire. Ha ha! The two brothers immediately burst into laughter. Dad, your move is even more brilliant. However, the two brothers pointed at Qian Aoshue and asked worriedly, Dad, we're going to have children with her. From the way we see it, she definitely won't be able to escape Brick Chu's evil clutches, so she must be Brick Chu's woman. Then the question is, will Brick Chu hold on to us and not let us go? Wananmin immediately looked at Qian Aoshue and nodded. You have good taste. After that, he coldly said, the two of you, if you want to attack me, then cut off my hands. If you want to attack me, then cut off my legs. Brick Chu will definitely not pursue this matter after seeing how sincere your apologies are. The two brothers immediately waved their hands. Dad, we didn't touch her. We just used our mouth. Bang, bang, bang. The two brothers were immediately beaten up and then scolded by Wananmin. Are you two idiots? If you didn't touch her, what do you have to do with it? If you like her, it proves that Brick Chu has good taste. If you don't, it proves that Brick Chu doesn't have good taste. Then, he'll teach you a lesson. He could understand it this way. The people of the 5 Elements sect, except for Saint Child Zither and the others, were all dumbfounded. As for Qian Aoshue, her face was even redder. She cursed in her heart, Bastard is his woman. Dad, your insight is really insightful. Hi, truly hi. Father, if it weren't for you, we definitely wouldn't have been able to see through the mysteries and make a huge mistake. The flattery was like a tide. Not only did the One brothers believe it, they even deeply believed it. Tainted 5 Elements sex people were even more astonished. Go. At that moment, the father and son's movements were extremely nimble. After a short while, they packed up and left. My heavens, Big Brick Chu is actually so illustrious now. Jean de Pan had a look on his face as if he was the only one who felt it. Ha ha. Silver Wolf laughed proudly. That's a must. Don't you know whose senior brother Big Brick Chu is? Chao Ju laughed as well. If that's the case, then we'll be able to do as we please in Siren City. Don't be careless. The Zither Melody Saint Child didn't laugh. As far as I know, Wananmin isn't an evil person. Instead, he's a gentleman. When he was in the Wei Kingdom, it was because he was worried about the kingdom and its people that he angered the Wei Emperor. He continued, Wananmin had no intention of harming us at all. Junior Marshal Brother Chu was just an excuse. However, the Zither Melody Saint Child also laughed. Even Wananmin wouldn't do that, and he wouldn't want to be targeted by my third brother. After that, the group recovered and found a place to stay again. What they saw and heard made them feel that Chu Yang was everywhere. They also heard about what Chu Yang had done. The geniuses of the younger generation of the demon race, the little gold rock king and the others were all robbed by Chu Yang. Princess Fox even had her fox tail cut off. As for the winged tiger king and the others, it was said that they had been castrated. Chu Baiguang. Their understanding was not wrong. The Golden Rock Saint Child was stripped naked and hung up. However, he was in a better state in the forest. The little 3-eyed king and the winged tiger king were miserable. They were watched by the entire Siren City. Ha ha! The zither melody Saint Child, Chao Ju, and Silver Wolf laughed crazily after hearing about Chu Yang's great achievements. Qian Aoshue's attention was on the Thousand Demon sect. That bastard almost destroyed the Thousand Demon sect. That bastard has done so many evil things. He must be in a very dangerous situation. I wonder how he's doing. For no reason, such a question popped up in Qian Aoshue's mind, which scared her. Then, she blushed. Fortunately, no one noticed. Chapter 739. Chu Yang was doing very well. Dusk, sunset glow. The overlapping mountains were like drunken old men, leaning against each other and snoring. There was a lake in the middle of the mountains. There were many lotus leaves in the lake. The lotus leaves that reached the heavens were infinitely green. The lotus leaves were as big as millstones, and some were spread out like umbrellas. Some of the water droplets on the lotus leaves were like the tears of a lover, while others were scattered into tiny beads that rolled around on the lotus leaves, shining brightly. Looking from afar, under the contrast of the surrounding emerald-green mountains and the illumination of the red sunset, the clusters of lotus flowers were like clusters of red clouds. Layers of red clouds covered the lake, making it seem as if it was dyed red, making one feel as if they had entered a fairyland. At this moment, Chu Yang was in such a fairyland-like place. He knew how to choose a place. It was a pity that he did not have the time to appreciate such a beautiful scene. Under the illumination of the sunset glow, he studied the heavenly Pung feather further. Previously, he had only felt the astonishment of the heavenly Pung feather, but it was not detailed enough. These feathers could be big or small. Not only could they transform into the wings of the heavenly Pung, but they could also transform into many other forms. Let's try transforming the heavenly Pung feather into a sharp sword. Clang, clang, clang. With a thought in his mind, the feathers changed and shrunk to the size of small swords, forming a golden divine sword. It emitted an incomparably dazzling light, as if it was a golden sun, resonating with the setting sun in the west. Chu Yang took out a soul reincarnation realm low-grade long spear and slashed down. Instantly, the long spear was cut open like a piece of paper. Hiss! He could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. The heavenly Pung feather had shrunk into a sword, and it had become so sharp. This was a little scary. The heavenly Pung feather changed again, turning into a heavenly Pung saber. When he tried again, it was not much different from the heavenly Pung sword. It was also very sharp. What grade is this heavenly Pung feather? Chu Yang originally thought that this heavenly Pung feather was at most a soul reincarnation realm high-grade treasure. However, after sensing it, it was far from that. What if I shrink the heavenly Pung feather even more and only condense it into a flying knife? Will it be even sharper? This was a new discovery. He immediately tried it. Then, a golden lancet knife appeared in his hand. Screech! Chu Yang threw it out using his own gold rock flying dagger technique. Immediately, it was as if the sound of thunder was heard. The golden flying dagger was like a tiny big-winged golden rock bird. It flew out at the speed of a heavenly rock, followed by a sharp whistle like the high-pitched cry of a heavenly rock. After that, it directly pierced through a majestic mountain and flew to an unknown place. It was so far away that Chu Yang lost the connection with it. What it pierced through didn't seem to be a mountain, but a piece of paper. Oh my God, so fierce! Swish! Chu Yang flew out and searched for the flying dagger. At the same time, he thought to himself, doesn't this mean that if I want to assassinate someone in the future, I don't even need to use the path to heaven? I can suddenly appear and use a peerless stab. I can directly use the heavenly Pung feather to transform into a flying dagger. The heavenly Pung feather was even more shocking than what Chu Yang had felt before. Ha ha! Chu Yang couldn't help but laugh. With the heavenly Pung feather, he was even more powerful. After he found the flying dagger transformed from the heavenly Pung feather, He tried to transform it into armor, shield, and so on. The heavenly pring feather and the golden origin seemed to be similar. Chu Yang tried to fuse the two together, but it was impossible. It was like trying to fuse two mountains together. He could only give up. Chapter 740. The string of Buddhist beads he obtained from the Nine-Spirit King was made from an unknown material. They seemed to be Buddhist bones, Bodhi bones, and the nine-headed lion's divine bones. They were smooth and round. Once activated, they immediately transformed into a divine ring with a door opening in the middle. It was as if the nine-headed lion had been released from its cage. The 9 heads let out lion roars at the same time. It was extremely shocking. At the same time, it could also form a golden Buddha to protect him. It could even convert his enemies. It was extremely miraculous. Chu Yang obtained a piece of unpolished jade from the little three-eyed king. It contained a figure of light that looked like a deity. He absorbed the energy within and immediately felt a warm current enter his eyes. It strengthened and transformed his eyes. This treasure should be a secret treasure that the little three-eyed king used to cultivate his third eye. In the end, Chu Yang discovered that this unpolished jade would automatically recover after the energy within was completely absorbed. When he took out Princess Fox's foxtail, the energy within the foxtail was completely absorbed by the unpolished jade. This unpolished jade clearly absorbs energy in a selective manner. It absorbs high-grade energy that is beneficial to the eye technique first. Chu Yang naturally did not cut off Princess Fox's foxtail for no reason. The illusion technique that Princess Fox was most proficient in was all in this tail. The so-called Chu Yang cutting off the winged Tiger King was naturally not true. Chu Yang had only stripped off a mysterious metal from the winged Tiger King's body. This mysterious metal was somewhat similar to the golden origin. After countless attempts by Chu Yang, he finally made the golden origin devour this mysterious metal. The changes that followed were astonishing. Not only did the golden origin become more durable and sturdy when it was added to Chu Yang's body, it did not just increase by 10 dragons' strength, but by 20 dragons' strength. It had doubled. These elders of the Thousand Devil sect are simply paupers and beggars compared to these things of the demon race. Chu Yang took stock of the many elders of the Thousand Devil sect and found that the Thousand Devil sect was too shabby. They only had a few soul wheel realm artifacts. Forget it. Although these poor bastards don't have any treasures on them, their divine souls are still powerful. I should be able to obtain quite a bit of soul energy by refining their divine souls, as well as the divine souls of those bastards from before. Chu Yang was extremely disappointed. When he looked at the soul wheel realm broken spear that he had cut off, he felt a wave of heartache. What a wastrel! He actually destroyed a soul reincarnation realm spear. The memories of the Thousand Demon Sect's elders could be considered a kind of wealth. After looking through them, Chu Yang became proficient in using poison, refining demon corpses, and all sorts of evil technique. Only this desolate stone is left. I want to see if this desolate stone is really formed by the earth origin of the eastern wilderness. If it was me, I would act quickly. Chu Yang took out the desolate stone and began to absorb the energy within it to cultivate. Since he was young, he had obtained more than 50 desolate stones from the Gold Rock King, Nine-Spirit King, and the others. Some of them were absorbed by the Gold Rock King and the others. When he took out the desolate stone, it was gray and there was an astonishing amount of energy surging within it. However, when the desolate stone fell into Chu Yang's hand, the gray color instantly disappeared, following which a cracking sound rang out. The desolate stone had already shattered. Chu Yang absorbed the energy within the desolate stone at such a terrifying speed. If this scene was seen by the Gold Rock King and the others, they would probably be scared half to death. Rumble! The strange energy of the desolate stone entered Chu Yang's body. Immediately, the qi and blood in his body surged violently, releasing the sound of waves crashing. First, an ice-cold feeling circulated around his body. Then, a warm energy rushed up his spine and into his spiritual world, nourishing his spirit and martial spirit. This made Chu Yang shocked. This desolate stone is so amazing. Not only can it strengthen the body, it can also nourish the spirit and martial spirit. Chapter 741. The energy contained in the desolate stone is so mysterious. I am afraid that it might be formed from the original source of the eastern wilderness. Chu Yang was not overjoyed. Instead, he was solemn. The energy in the desolate stone was so mystical, no wonder the little golden rock king and the others were so powerful. If this continued, the eastern wasteland's source energy would be continuously plundered. In the end, it would wither and even dry up. At that time, the eastern wasteland would be in dire straits. Also, the little gold rock king and the others would become stronger as they continued to absorb the energy in the desolate stone. Especially their parents, the gold rock king, the lion king, the three-eyed king, and the others would become stronger. As a result, the strength of the monster clan would increase greatly. The Five Elements sect, the Dragon Tiger sect, the Seven Stars sect, the Wei country, the Wu country, the Qi country, and the Korea country would become weaker. After all, the Soul Devourer clan of the four great sects had been annihilated. This was a chain reaction, and the consequences could very well be disastrous. Let's not worry about this first. Let's absorb the desolate stone first. Chu Yang absorbed the energy in the desolate stone even faster. Kacha kacha. Small and clear sounds could be heard. In the blink of an eye, the energy in the 5 desolate stones had been completely absorbed by Chu Yang. Buzz, buzz. After absorbing the 6th desolate stone, Chu Yang's blood and qi turned into a dragon. The dragon's roar could be heard. Then, a huge dragon's shadow appeared behind him. There was a total of 11 huge dragons. 11 dragons' strength. Chu Yang originally only had 10 dragons' strength. However, after absorbing the energy in the 6 desolate stones, his strength had increased by 1 dragon's strength. After going through the reincarnation cycle, his body had become stronger. It was like a container that had been expanded many times. It was extremely difficult to increase one's strength. However, the energy in the 6 desolate stones was not all of them. Only half of them had increased his strength by 1 dragon's strength. Chu Yang was shocked once again. At the same time, he also discovered that among his martial spirits, the saber and sword martial spirit, as well as the flood dragon martial spirit, had directly advanced to the 2nd grade martial spirit. After he recovered from his shock, he quickly absorbed the energy from the desolate stone. When his physical body reached 15 dragon power, something strange happened. The genius martial spirit and the idiot martial spirit automatically absorbed the energy from the desolate stone. After that, the energy in the desolate stone was completely swallowed and absorbed by the 2 martial spirit. His body was not affected by the energy anymore. After absorbing all the energy from the desolate stones, the genius martial spirit and the idiot martial spirit were upgraded to 2nd grade martial spirit. This, Chu Yang was dumbfounded. The genius martial spirit and the fool martial spirit were so powerful that they could trigger reincarnation with the help of millions of souls. They could trigger the karmic retribution and the red lotus fire. It was easy to imagine how difficult it was for them to improve. However, just a few desolate stones were enough to raise their martial spirits by 1 grade. This was simply too shocking. At this moment, Chu Yang was even more certain that the energy in the desolate stone was the original source of the eastern wasteland. Otherwise, without such a level of energy, his genius martial spirit and idiot martial spirit would not have been able to improve so much. He also thought of another possibility. After entering the 2nd cycle of the chaotic cycle, his 2 martial spirits might have improved a lot. The gap was not big, so after filling it up, they immediately improved. However, no matter what, the energy in the desolate stone was too shocking. I must find a way to get the desolate stone. If the desolate stone is so shocking, then wouldn't the origin of the desolate demon be shocking too? If the desolate demon is really born from the origin of the eastern wilderness, I will increase my strength even more by swallowing them. Chu Yang had a series of thoughts in his mind. In the end, he stared at the desolate demon eggs. He knew from the eagle demon and the condor demon's divine soul that there were 7 desolate demon eggs. Only one had hatched, which was the desolate demon prince. There were 6 more. 6 desolate demon eggs. If I get all of them, according to my current estimation, I can at least improve to the 5th or 6th level of the ascending soul realm. No, the desolate demon eggs need to be put aside first. The most important thing now is to spread the news. However, Chu Yang suddenly thought of a very fatal problem. He couldn't help but look at his small body that was only 7 or 8 years old. He couldn't help but feel a toothache. He couldn't help but mutter, if the people of the 5 elements sect see my appearance, not to mention being doubted. Even if it is confirmed in the end, if there are old acquaintances in the 5 elements sect, I will be laughed to death. Jeanduodwa's cultivation was below the soul wheel realm. Silver Wolf, his so-called junior brother, was also. They should come, and these 2 were not decent people. They were immoral and had poisonous mouth. Chu Yang felt that if he met these 2, he would probably be laughed to death. Swish. Chapter 742. Chu Yang counted his spoils of war and absorbed the desolate stones to cultivate. Naturally, he had to find a safe place where no one was around. Therefore, he left the sea demon city and entered the mountains. He flew out, and the mountains rushed back like a giant, as if they were chasing after the setting sun and picking it up. In just a moment, the sea demon city unfolded in front of him. Waves of sea breeze blew, and Chu Yang once again felt the strong smell of the sea and the smell of the sea. Chu Yang's eyesight was extremely good. He flew into the range of the sea demon city. From midair, the figure of a crane among chickens pierced into his eyes. The figure's curves were so attractive, so perfect, and so hot that it was extremely eye-catching. However, when he got closer and saw the figure clearly, Chu Yang almost fell directly from midair. Why is this little girl here? Qian Aoshue. Chu Yang actually saw Qian Aoshue. He actually saw Qian Aoshue in the sea demon city. If this little girl sees my current appearance, which is only 7 or 8 years old, I'm afraid she will laugh like crazy. Chu Yang faintly imagined Qian Aoshue's reaction, and his mouth could not help but twitch. In addition, with this little girl's hatred for him, he felt that this little girl could talk about it for the rest of her life. This was also very likely to become a sore foot and a joke for the rest of his life. No, I can't let this little girl laugh at me, even if I'm beaten to death. Chu Yang immediately made up his mind. No matter what, he could not expose his identity. However, it was another problem to gain the trust of the people of the 5 Elements sect. Damn little girl, the Sea Demon City is a place of trouble. What are you doing here? Just as Chu Yang was feeling gloomy, a greasy voice suddenly entered his ears as he approached. Junior Sister Aoshue, I fell in love with you at first sight. In this life, I will only marry you. As long as you agree, I will immediately go back and ask my father to propose marriage. Chu Yang was stunned. What's going on? Based on Qian Aoshue's cold personality, this greasy voice would definitely be judged as a shameless person and would be kicked away immediately. However, why hadn't this greasy voice flown away yet? Looks like this greasy guy must have some status or extraordinary strength. Chu Yang rejoiced in his misfortune and laughed evilly. Let you laugh at me, I'll laugh at you first. In the future, I wonder how Lil Pimp will react when I tell everyone what I saw today. Whoosh. He immediately landed and walked quickly towards Qian Aoshue with his hands behind his back. At this moment, he saw clearly the man who was pestering Qian Aoshue. His figure was tall and slender, and his appearance was very handsome. Especially his pair of eyes, which were very strange. They were as blue as the sea, but also incomparably deep like the vast ocean. It was just that the expression on his face was too frivolous and a little too impatient. Chu Yang had seen this man in the souls of Eagle Demon and the others. He recognized him. Hai Wuya's second son, Hai Shunglong, the son of the Sea Demon City's city lord. No wonder this little girl is not violent. Why doesn't she continue to be innocent and pure? Could it be that she gave all her innocence to me? If I were to be beaten to death and not admit it, how big of a crime would that be? Hai Shunglong was followed by a group of rich disciples of the Sea Demon City. Young City Lord, please conduct yourself with dignity. Qian Aoshue's cold expression had already revealed an extremely impatient appearance. It seemed that she had endured to the limit. Lady Aoshue. Chapter 743. Hai Shunglong smiled contemptuously. Miss Aoshue, who else can compare to me? How can the person you like compare to me? If he hears my name, I guarantee that he will piss his pants. Really? Qian Aoshue said coldly. Are you sure? Hai Shunglong was even more contemptuous. In this Sea Demon City, who dares not to give me some face? Isn't the Five Elements sect the same? I like that person. Qian Aoshue gritted her teeth and said word by word, his name is Chu Yang. Plop. When the group of rich men behind Hai Shunglong heard this name, they all fell to the ground with a thud. Their eyes were filled with terror as if they were saying, it's over. I actually came to flirt with Chu Banzwang, Chu Bagwang, Chu stripped naked's woman. Hai Shunglong was also shocked. The two words, Chu Yang, were like thunder in his ears. The things that Chu Yang had done were too shocking. Although Hai Shunglong was the son of the city lord, he was definitely not comparable to Little Gold Rock King, Nine Spirit King, and the others. If Chu Yang dared to hit them with a brick, he would definitely dare to hit him with a brick. His head was not as hard as Little Gold Rock King and the others, and his neck was definitely not as hard as the 1,000 Devil Sex Elders. Chu Yang could cut off the 1,000 Devil Sex Elders' neck. If he wanted to cut off his neck, he could definitely do it. Plop. In fact, there was also a plop sound, synchronized with the sound of the group of rich disciples falling. It was a 7 or 8-year-old child, an extremely delicate and beautiful child with a white little beast on his shoulder. At this moment, the child was stunned. The little beast on his shoulder was also stunned, looking at Qian Aoshue blankly. No way, Qian Aoshue, this little girl likes me. Chu Yang was stunned, as if he had heard the most shocking news in the world. His nerves were a little confused. Is it true that women love bad men? If you don't give a woman some feelings and cause her emotional fluctuations, she won't have feelings for you. Otherwise, it's not the case. Or is he purely using me as a shield? Chu Yang didn't know what to say. He had been struck by lightning. Ha ha ha! Little 5 and Little 6 were laughing like crazy in their consciousness. Lil Guai was also laughing like crazy. It fell off Chu Yang's shoulder and rolled on the ground. The sound of it falling attracted Qian Aoshue's gaze. Suddenly, Chu Yang's heart couldn't help but tighten. If this little girl recognizes me, it will be really embarrassing. Although Chu Yang had become 7 or 8 years old, he still had his original appearance, but he still looked very young. Qian Aoshue's bright eyes stared straight at Chu Yang, causing him to almost break into a run. Little brother, why did you fall? Then, Chu Yang froze, petrified. Qian Aoshue moved and arrived by his side. She squatted down and pinched his delicate and flawless face. She exclaimed, "Whose child is this? He's actually so delicate and beautiful." Chu Yang was in a mess. Not only was he treated as a child by Qian Aoshue, but he was also pinched by a little girl. Ha ha! Seeing Chu Yang's appearance, Lil Guai laughed even more crazily. Chu Yang jumped up with a whoosh. He was afraid that Qian Aoshue would pick him up later. If that happened, little brother, what's wrong with you? Why did you scare you? Qian Aoshue's voice was no longer as cold as usual. Not only was it soft, but it was also full of motherly love and gentleness. Chu Yang was in a mess. He didn't get to see a joke, but he became a joke. Which family's child? Get out of here. Hai Shenglong had already walked toward Qian Aoshue. Qian Aoshue immediately understood what Chu Yang was afraid of just now. She comforted him again. Little brother, don't be afraid. I'm here. Chapter 744. Are you talking about that Chu Yang? The Sea Demon City Lord was a bit scared, but in front of the beauty, he gritted his teeth and said, Chu Yang is just a rat. What can he do? As long as he shows his face, he will die for sure. Why should I be afraid of him? Shwa. As soon as he said that, the group of rich kids behind him ran away, as if to say that this matter had absolutely nothing to do with them. Damn it! Hai Shenglong cursed in his heart. However, when he thought of Chu Yang, he could not help but panic. Chu Yang, that bastard, if he finds me, what should I do? As long as I stay at home, with my father around, how would he dare to touch me? In an instant, many thoughts flashed through Hai Shenglong's mind. In addition, when he saw Qian Aoshue's hot figure, he was worried and scared. He completely forgot his manners and said arrogantly and overbearingly, Chu Yang is just a rat. If he dares to touch me, my father will annihilate all the people of your 5 Elements sect. You talk big. Qian Aoshue was thoroughly enraged. Her pretty face was gloomy, but she still did not dare to make a move. She was really afraid of Hai Shenglong's threat. This was the Sea Demon City, and the people from the 5 Elements sect this time were not very powerful. The Zither Saint's son was the strongest. None of the elders came with them. If the Sea Demon City Lord made a move, they would definitely not be a match. They would all be annihilated. Damn son of a bitch, the elders are actually counting on you to protect us, but you son of a bitch, we haven't even seen your shadow yet. Qian Aoshue cursed Chu Yang thousands of times in her heart. At this moment, Chu Yang also sneered in his heart, annihilating the 5 Elements sect? How arrogant! This was no longer a problem for Qian Aoshue alone, but for the reputation of the entire 5 Elements sect. Everything that Chu Yang had done before could very well go to waste if he didn't handle it properly. Sea Demon City Lord Hai Wuya, I will have to meet you eventually. I will start with your son, Hai Shenglong. That thing of yours. Chu Yang's immature voice suddenly rang out, immediately attracting everyone's attention. Qian Aoshue was shocked. Did this kid want to die? Then, she saw Chu Yang poke at Hai Shenglong's nose with his little finger. Then, Chu Yang scolded, You bastard, I took such a big loss. I didn't care about my handsome appearance and temperament. I fell down and successfully attracted the attention of my idol's woman. Just as I was about to succeed, you bastard jumped out and ruined my efforts. Qian Aoshue saw that the more this delicate child spoke, the angrier he became. His spittle was spitting out, and the words in his mouth were too filthy. You piece of shit. Do you know how much you've sinned? Even the Red Lotus Hellfire can't erase your sins. Hai Shenglong's entanglement with Qian Aoshue was already surrounded by a lot of people. Suddenly, a kid came out of nowhere and cursed. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Qian Aoshue was also completely stunned. Was this kid really a kid? How could he understand so many curses? Also, my idol's woman. These 4 words made her completely petrified. The kid's idol was obviously the bastard Chu Yang in her heart. Hai Shenglong's face twisted. As the young city lord of the Sea Demon City, he had a noble background. It could be said that he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His strength was also one level higher than others. Although he was not comparable to his big brother and the young Gold Rock King, he had never been pointed at like this, cursed like this, and humiliated like this. Chapter 745. How dare you disrespect the second young master? Die. Hai Shunlong didn't do it himself. It was beneath his dignity to attack a kid. He couldn't afford to lose face like this. He secretly gave an order to his bodyguard. Suddenly, a middle-aged man shouted loudly. Then, a big hand made of spirit energy rushed towards Chu Yang to grab him. Where did you come from? How dare you say I'm bold? I'm in the mood to be a judge. You've disrupted my mood. That's a big crime. Get out of here. Chu Yang only said the word scram, but when his immature voice came out, the sound waves were like sound arrows, directly piercing through the big hand made of spirit energy. Lion's roar. Chu Yang had devoured a white lion a long time ago and got the talent of a lion. He already knew how to do it. After getting the string of Buddha beads, he had a deeper understanding of the lion's roar. It was said that when Shakyamuni was born, he pointed one finger to the sky and the other to the earth. He was the most powerful being in the world. His lion's roar could subdue all beasts. The lion was the king of all beasts. It had the function of warding off evil spirit. It was docile and had the appearance of a protector. Its wild nature was tamed and showed Buddhism. The lion's roar could make small insects afraid. The lion's roar could subdue foreign powers. Chu Yang only had a preliminary understanding of such a profound meaning. Naturally, his lion's roar couldn't subdue foreign powers. However, before the lion was tamed by the Buddha, it would roar when it met the Buddha. He had mastered the lion's roar. Once he used it, it was fierce, overbearing, and lawless. At this moment, even if the Buddha was in front of him, he would kill and devour him. So, the big hand made of spiritual energy was nothing to him. Not to mention the big hand made of spiritual energy, Chu Yang's lion's roar had a great impact on Hai Shunlong. He took a dozen steps back and sat on the ground. His face was pale and there was fear in his eyes. The people around were all shocked and frightened. Hai Shunlong, right? I'll now announce your big crime. Chu Yang was unscrupulous. He didn't care about the second young master of the Sea Demon City. You're courting death. Hai Shunlong regained his senses in an instant. His fear dissipated and he flew into a rage out of humiliation. The veins on his face throbbed. He was actually reprimanded by a little brat. He was so scared that he retreated and fell on his butt. He would only act like this when his father was enraged. Just now, in front of this lousy child, he had become a son. He was in a sorry state in front of others. He had embarrassed himself and made a fool of himself. Hai Shunlong's face became even hotter. It was as if he was being burned. Boom! He attacked as if he had gone mad, and threw a punch at Chu Yang. The force of his punch traversed the sky, rumbling as spirit chi surged. The void seemed to have turned into a vast ocean, and the sound of raging waves resounded. A poisonous dragon rushed out from it, and suddenly transformed into a huge drill, and ruthlessly drilled towards Chu Yang. Sea-stirring fist, toxic dragon goes to sea, toxic dragon drills. Chu Yang's eyes shone with a strange light. He knew about this fist art from the Eagle Beasts and the Eagle Beast. It was one of the martial arts of the Sea Demon City's city lord, Hai Wuya. It was abnormally powerful. Hai Wuya was half human and half beast. He had the bloodline of a beast. Some said that he was a flood dragon, while others said that he was a 9-headed snake or a white shark. As for what kind of beast bloodline he had, no one knew. The ocean-tearing fist was extremely powerful. However, this fist art was only Hai Wuya's most ordinary fist art. It was said that his 4-ocean infinite fist was the truly earth-shattering one. This Hai Wuya's identity is so mysterious. No one knows his background. It's really scary. Chapter 746. Be careful! Qian Aoshue exclaimed. Her voice was filled with anxiety and even panic. Humph! The corners of Chu Yang's mouth curled into a mocking smile. This little girl thinks too highly of Hai Shunglong. Whoosh! His figure moved and directly collided with the toxic dragon drill. His figure was extremely fast, like a big fish in the ocean. The flying arrow shot out like lightning and cut open the whirlpool of the ocean. The toxic dragon drill was cut in half by Chu Yang's body. What? Hai Shunglong was terrified. He hurriedly performed his fist skill again. Ocean-breaking fist. Evil dragon breaking the ocean. Rumble. The sound of surging waves became even more violent. 1,000 feet long evil dragon appeared in the void like a vast ocean. It seemed as if it was wantonly turning over the 4 seas. Then, it saw Chu Yang as a toy. It wanted to catch him and play with him. This Hai Shunglong has some skills. But that's it. Chu Yang looked indifferent. He threw out an ordinary punch. He did not use any fist skill. He just threw out an ordinary punch. There was no fanciness or technique at all, nor was there any simplification of complexity, nor was there any profound meaning of a supreme fist technique. It was very simple. He just wanted to bully you because he was stronger than you. You are overbearing, but I am more overbearing. Boom! As soon as the evil dragon came into contact with Chu Yang's fist, it exploded. Then, the 2 fists collided fiercely. The enormous force set off a series of explosive sounds. The air exploded and the void was penetrated. Everything in the way was crushed and turned into nothingness. Ta ta ta! Hai Shunglong spat out a mouthful of blood. He retreated a dozen steps before he could stop. You are such a fool. You are so blind. You dare to be arrogant and resist the law violently under my judgment. It seems that I will teach you what it means to be sacred and not blasphemous. Chu Yang's young and tender smiling face was very frivolous. He casually spouted nonsense. His figure slightly swayed, and arrived in front of the Sea Demon City with a swoosh. Then, he punched out in an ordinary manner. Before the punch arrived, the terrifying fist pressure had already arrived. It pressed down on Hai Shunglong's body. Boom! Hai Shunglong's eyes were filled with shock. He could not believe that Chu Yang's small body contained such astonishing strength. Moreover, he was so strong that he could ignore all of his attack. How is this possible? I am at the first level of the soul reincarnation realm. He looks like he is at most at the 2nd or 3rd level of the ascending soul realm. How is it that I am the one who lost? The strength that Chu Yangzhang had displayed was far beyond his imagination. It had even subverted his imagination. Buzz. When Chu Yang's fist arrived in front of Hai Shunglong immediately released his domain. However, just as the light shield appeared, it was directly penetrated by Chu Yang's fist. Gotcha! The light instantly shattered. Stop! Buzz! Another buzzing sound was heard. Another domain was released, covering Hai Shunglong and protecting him. It was an old man with the strongest strength among Hai Shunglong's bodyguards. He was also shocked to the core. If Hai Shunglong was not in a critical situation, he would not make a move. This was also specially ordered by Hai Wuya. Especially when Hai Shunglong was fighting with someone of the same generation. If Hai Shunglong's life was not in danger, even if Hai Shunglong was humiliated, Hai Wuya would not make a move. Chapter 747. Who is this little brat? How can his strength be so shocking? He can even destroy a domain. The old man's heart was filled with extreme fear. This time, Hai Shunglong might have offended a big shot and gotten himself into big trouble. However, in the eastern wilderness, he had never heard of a big force that had such a little monster. Humph! Is a 5th-layer domain that great? Chu Yang snorted coldly. Golden light flashed, and a golden divine sword appeared in his hand. It was so dazzling that people couldn't see it clearly. However, they could clearly see that the domain formed by the old man collapsed with a crash. What kind of sword is that? It's so terrifying. The old man tried to sense the golden light in Chu Yang's hand, but a small figure had already appeared in front of him and punched his lower abdomen. Suddenly, his face twisted. He was in great pain. It was as if his intestines were all crushed by a huge force. Rumble! The old man was like a flying boulder, smashing through everything in his way. Everything in his way was destroyed. Finally, with a loud bang, the collapsed house buried him. Bang! With a crisp sound, everyone was shocked. They saw a small figure floating in the air. A small white hand grabbed Hai Shenglong's neck and lifted him up. Hai Shenglong's 2 legs kicked wildly in the air like a drowning man. Stop! Little brother, stop! Qian Aoshue was scared to death. If this cute child strangled Hai Shenglong to death, it would be big trouble. What do you want from my idols, woman? Chu Yang saw Qian Aoshue's anxious expression and couldn't help but show a disdainful expression. He immediately lectured her. My idols, woman, can you pay attention to your image? You're making a fuss about nothing. You're embarrassing my idol. Do you know that I'm ashamed of you now? After that, he muttered to himself, I don't know why my idol likes such a woman. He really has no taste. Chu Yang, that son of a bitch, he really doesn't have a good eye for me. You little brat, what kind of eyes do you have? I'm the one who doesn't like that scoundrel. Qian Aoshue gritted her teeth so hard that cracking sounds could be heard. However, when she thought about how cruel this delicate and cute brat was, she had no choice but to suppress her anger. She said gently, Little brother, put him down first. No. Chu Yang shook his head like a rattledrum. His little face was serious, solemn, and even full of holiness. I must learn from my idol. Later, I will use a brick to knock this thing over and rob it clean. Then, I will strip it naked and hang it up to express my admiration to my idol. It's like a stormy sea, like a tsunami that reaches the sky, and like the endless waters of the ocean. Qian Aoshue's eyes darkened, and she almost fell to the ground. She cursed in her heart, Chu Yang, you scoundrel, you scoundrel, you scoundrel! How could you teach such a kid to be like this? He's a scoundrel, and scoundrel just like you. She put all the blame on Chu Yang. As for the onlookers in the Sea Demon City, their expressions were also very interesting. If Hai Shenglong, the second son of the city lord of the Sea Demon City, was stripped naked and hung under the sun, what kind of scene would that be? What kind of reaction would the city lord of the Sea Demon City, Hai Wuya, have? Would this cause a huge storm? Little brother, listen to me. Don't learn from that scoundrel, that scoundrel, that scoundrel. Chu Yang didn't like what Qian Aoshue said. I didn't do anything to you. I just gave you a big loach. Do you have to be like this? If you do this... Chapter 748. Little brother, listen to me. Qian Aoshue saw that Hai Shenglong's legs were powerless and he was kicking in the air. His mouth was wide open, his tongue was sticking out, and his eyes were rolling up. She couldn't help but feel anxious. Chu Yang suddenly let go of Hai Shenglong's hand. However, when Hai Shenglong took a few deep breaths and Qian Aoshue let out a sigh of relief, a crisp sound was heard. That white and tender hand grabbed Hai Shenglong again. This time, the strength was stronger than before. Ugh! Hai Shenglong's throat made a strange sound as if he was going to die immediately. He was terrified to the extreme. Qian Aoshue was furious. She became anxious again. My idol's woman. Chu Yang smiled evilly. Why do I feel that the salted fish in my hand is your man? My idol is not. Little brother, let go. He is dying. Qian Aoshue shouted anxiously. She didn't care about Chu Yang's slander. If she had to refute, she would definitely say that bastard Hai Shenglong was her man. In order to get rid of him, She used that bastard Chu Yang as a shield. Ugh! Chu Yang suddenly roared, which scared Qian Aoshue. Then she saw Chu Yang's small face. He said seriously, "That woman, I now officially suspect you. You are definitely not my idol's woman. Damned little bastard. Damned little scoundrel. Is this the most important thing right now?" Qian Aoshue was so anxious that she almost fainted. If Hai Shunglong died, the Sea Demon City would be angry. The people of the Five Elements sect in the Sea Demon City would definitely suffer. "Don't worry," Chu Yang sneered. "I won't kill this lover of yours. He now has a reason to live. If you're really my idol's woman, then you're now unchaste and unclean. You're completely dirty and stinky. And this thing is the evidence." Bang! Chu Yang loosened his hand. Hai Shunglong fell to the ground. "Kneel!" Hai Shunglong, who had just escaped death and was gasping for air, hurriedly knelt down. Although Qian Aoshue was relieved, her face was burning. She was ashamed and angry. Who was unchaste? Who was dirty? Who was smelly? Her pair of beautiful eyes could shoot fire. If she could beat this little brat, she would go up and beat him up. She would definitely teach this little brat a good lesson for his parent. "Ha!" Chu Yang suddenly roared again, which scared Qian Aoshue again. This little brat was too ferocious. Even Qian Aoshue was afraid of him. "That woman!" Chu Yang pointed at Qian Aoshue. "Let me ask you, has my idol ever slept with you?" Qian Aoshue screamed. Chu Yang was prepared for it. He covered his ears with his little hands and said discontentedly, "My idol slept with you. It's your honor. How can you not accept it? Forget it, I'm a magnanimous person. Let's put it another way. Have you ever given birth to a child for my idol?" "That's not right," he murmured. "How should I ask this question?" Looking at Chu Yang's little face frowning and thinking, Qian Aoshue wanted to kill him. This little brat dared to ask her such a question in front of others. Did she still want to live? Oh right. At this time, Chu Yang's joyful voice sounded. "Ha, that woman, have you ever bowed to heaven and earth with my idol?" Chapter 749. I'm going to kill you. Qian Aoshue clenched her teeth and immediately attacked Chu Yang. Her spiritual qi turned into a big river and struck out. The big river surged, rumbling, and went straight to Chu Yang. Roar, river martial spirit! Chu Yang secretly used the string of Buddha beads. With the help of the beads, he roared like a lion. The visible sound wave rushed out and completely collapsed the big river. The aftermath of the attack affected Qian Aoshue's body. The huge roar shook her mind violently. In an instant, all the anger and shame disappeared. She immediately sobered up and thought to herself, "Where did this little demon come from? He's actually so shocking." "Woman, you're still in the right, aren't you?" Qian Aoshue stopped talking. "That's the way to behave." Chu Yang saw Qian Aoshue's appearance and laughed in his heart. Then, he felt that he had gone overboard. But after thinking about it, he couldn't help but get angry. Does this little girl have a brain? Now she's saying that she's my woman. Does she want to die faster? Chu Yang didn't even dare to show his face now. This woman was good. She forced herself to have a relationship with him. If those little gold rock kings knew about it, they would come to make trouble for her. "Hey, I have to clean up this little girl's mess." Talking and doing things didn't matter. The more Chu Yang thought about it, the more unhappy he was. He couldn't help but get angry and shouted, "Hey, woman, I just asked you a question. How dare you not answer me?" "No." Qian Aoshue clenched her teeth. She swore that if she had the chance, she would make this little boy cry for his mother and father. "You really didn't worship the heaven and earth with my idol and enter the bridal chamber?" "No." Fortunately, Chu Yang patted his chest and said, "My idol can still be saved." "What do you mean? Little boy, what kind of look is that? What kind of expression is that? Am I bad?" Qian Aoshue was irritated. Woman, let me ask you again. Have you ever liked my idol? No. Has my idol ever been interested in you? No. Ha. Chu Yang immediately laughed out loud. I knew it. My idol is so talented. How could he not have good eyesight? How could he take a fancy to a woman like you? How can my idol's woman be as shameless as you? Chu Yang was lying through his teeth. You. Qian Aoshue was so angry that she was about to go berserk again. But when she wanted to do something, Chu Yang glared at her, and she was silenced. I was wrong. Chu Yang pointed at Hai Shenglong. If she were my idol's woman, she would only need to glare and this thing would fly thousands of miles away. It wouldn't be able to find its way home, and could only cry for its mother. Do you think that bastard Chu Yang is a god? Qian Aoshue was flustered and exasperated. She hated Chu Yang even more. That's not right. This woman is obviously lying. If I believe whatever she says, won't I look very stupid? Chu Yang mumbled to himself. Then, he said, Hey that woman. I'm warning you. If you dare to lie to me, I will knock you over with a brick, strip you naked, and hang you up to dry. Strip. Qian Aoshue suddenly raised her hands and subconsciously protected her hair. Strip, her body couldn't help but shrink. If that really happened, she really couldn't live. Ha ha! Qian Aoshue's scared look made Chu Yang laugh again in his heart. He thought that if this little girl knew his real identity, she would probably go crazy with anger. Hey that woman! Let me ask you again. Have you ever worshipped the heaven and earth with my idol and entered the bridal chamber? Chu Yang asked the same questions again. Then, he felt that the time was almost right. If he went to the Five Elements sex encampment now, it shouldn't arouse any suspicion. Chapter 750. Afterwards, Chu Yang naturally muttered to everyone, This won't do. This woman isn't enough to win our trust. Moreover, this is the first thing I'm going to do for my idol. I can't make a fool of myself. I can't mess this up. I have to be cautious. I have to go to the Five Elements sect and ask. Swish. Chu Yang's movements were extremely fast. Before Qian Aoshue could react, he had grabbed her by the waist and left like a gust of wind. As soon as he left, the crowd immediately started to discuss. This brat is simply a little devil. Anyone who falls into his hands will be begging for death. You just found out? This brat is the one who sold demons and bought candies. That's right. That. La, I'm an expert in selling demons. I remember it clearly. That was still okay. This little devil is obviously not completely ferocious. This is not the complete form of his ferocity. A condor demon of the demon race said that he wanted to eat him. In the end, he ate his demon core raw and even his soul raw. That's what I call ferocious. Hai Shenglong knelt on the ground. Hearing the crowd's discussion, he was secretly regretful. Damn it. Why didn't I think of him? Swish. The crowd was startled by Chu Yang's return. Some of them even started to run away while crying for their parents. Why are you panicking? Freedom of speech. I understand this principle. Chu Yang's disdainful expression made the crowd feel relieved. Then, they saw this little devil smiling at Hai Shenglong. I came back mainly to beat him with a brick. Although I have something important to do, I have to finish it like this. Otherwise, I'll be further away from my idol. Soon, a huge brick appeared. Hai Shenglong wanted to dodge, but he could not dodge it. With a bang, the brick hit the back of his head. He rolled his eyes and fainted. Swish. Chu Yang's figure moved and disappeared without a trace again. The scene was dead silent. Looking at the big bump on the back of Hai Shenglong's head and the crack on his skull, they couldn't help but look at each other. This was indeed a little devil. While they were still in shock, Chu Yang arrived at the Five Elements sex encampment in Sea Demon City at lightning speed. He rushed in directly, which alarmed all the people of the Five Elements sect. Then he pointed at Qian Aoshue and shouted, Hey, let me ask you, Is this woman mine and my idol's woman? Qian Aoshua felt a little ashamed to live in front of a group of brothers and sisters. What's the situation? The chosen child, Chao Ju, Jin Duoduo, the Silver Wolf, Chu Rinxian, Qingfeng, and the rest of the Five Elements sect were a little stunned by the sudden appearance of this kid. Who's your idol? Jin Duoduo asked. Then, his eyes suddenly locked onto Chu Yang's little face. Why did he feel that this little face was so familiar? Hey! Chu Yang was shocked. He immediately put his little hand on his waist and pointed at Jin Duoduo's nose with his other hand. Hey, you little thing, listen to me carefully. My idol is the famous monster Chu Tianjiao, Chu Kuangren, Chu Tianjiao, Chu Kuangren, Chu Baiguang, Chu Baiguang. It was a very long self-description and shameless self-praise. As soon as Chu Yang's voice fell, Jin Duoduo's eyes suddenly widened. His expression was as if he had discovered a big secret. Hey, little kid, you're not the precious son of the monstrous Chu Yang, right? You're really of the same origin. You're all so shameless, haha. Damn it, I'm my own son. Chu Yang's little face darkened. He was very depressed. Jin Duoduo's question was not strange. Although Chu Yang looked like a 7- or 8-year-old, his appearance was still the same. Hey, it's really possible. Chao Ju's eyes lit up. This little kid may really be the son of the monster Chu. Look at how similar he looks. He almost looks like junior brother Chu when he was a child. The saint child was also very surprised. At that moment, everyone in the Five Elements sect was in an uproar. Chu Rinxian, Qingfeng, and Gong Shang were also dumbfounded. When did Chu Yang have a child? Could it be that Chu Yang had left them in the dust in terms of cultivation? Could it be that he had also left them in the dust in other aspects? Could it be that he even had a child? Qian Aoshua couldn't help but be stunned. She had discovered this before, but she felt that it was impossible. However, everyone's reaction at this moment made her feel uneasy. Could it be that this little devil is really the son of that bastard? Chu Yang was speechless. This young master is me. Who else can I be if not myself? Come on, Monster Chu, call me uncle, Silver Wolf said with a smile. He came up and pinched his little face. Yes, little baby, call me uncle. Jin Duoduo also came up to join in the fun. Chao Ju pushed him away. Jin Duoduo, don't pretend to be young. You're older than the monster Chu. Let my little nephew call you uncle. Come on, little baby, call me uncle. Chapter 751. These things are all idiot. If I don't teach them a lesson, they will really go to heaven. Chu Yang gritted his teeth. He knew how vicious Chao Ju and Jin Duoduo's mouths were. He didn't want to be provoked anymore. Pung! A pair of heavenly rock wings condensed behind him. Spirit energy surged on his small hand and condensed into a huge brick. My little nephew is going crazy, ha ha! Jin Duoduo laughed. As expected of my little nephew. Like father, like son. The Silver Wolf also laughed. Chao Ju looked at Chu Yang's delicate little face. The veins on his face seemed to be jumping. He couldn't help but laugh. His little nephew was simply too cute. But they were doomed. Shwa. Although Jin Duoduo was prepared for Chu Yang's move, Chu Yang still easily appeared behind Jin Duoduo and slapped him down. Ayo, the Silver Wolf cried like a ghost and a big bump appeared on the back of his head. At the same time he cursed. $$, damn father, are you going to let me live? I am already so monstrous. My son is even more monstrous. My little nephew is beating up this old uncle. Uncle? I'll let your uncle do it. Chu Yang gritted his teeth and smacked the Silver Wolf with the brick. This time, he used more force than before. The Silver Wolf saw stars. This little nephew was so cruel. Jin Duoduo and Chao Ju saw the big bump on the back of the Silver Wolf's head. It even seemed like a small bump would appear, and become the shape of a gourd. They couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. Ah! Jin Duo immediately screamed. Chu Yang also attacked him. He screamed and said, "I say, little nephew, where did your anger come from?" Purring. Before he finished speaking, he felt a sharp pain on the back of his head. He almost fainted and fell to the ground. Jin Duo was extremely shocked. How monstrous was his little nephew? I tried my best to dodge but couldn't even escape for 3 seconds. Little nephew, you are as inhuman as your father. Bang! He immediately got hit by Chu Yang's extra-large brick. He knew that the back of his head must be the same as the silver wolf. #yen, #yen, #. Jin Duo was cursing crazily in his heart. Fuck, this little bastard was too ruthless. Shwa. Seeing Silver Wolf in Jin Duo's miserable state, Chao Ju dodged and shouted, "Little nephew, beating up your uncle is disgraceful. What you're doing is wrong." Swish. Swish. The two of them moved quickly. Chao Ju was truly capable. Later on, Chu Yang directly used the heavenly Pung feather to augment the heavenly Pung wings formed from his spirit chi. Only then did he manage to suppress Chao Ju. When Chu Yang smashed the brick down, a big bump immediately appeared on the back of Chao Ju's head. He was still angry, so he smacked the three of them one by one with the brick. "I'll let your uncle win. How dare you act so young? I'll teach you a lesson." Chao Ju, Jin Duo, and the Silver Wolf wanted to cry but had no tears. Whose little nephew was so cruel? And this was under the condition that he showed mercy. Otherwise, their heads wouldn't just be bumped. Their skulls would crack and they would be knocked out in minute. Chu Rinxian, Li Qingfeng, Gong Shang, and the others looked at all this in shock. They were shocked and shocked. Not to mention that they couldn't catch up to Chu Yang, they couldn't even catch up to Chu Yang's son. "What are you looking at? Do you want to be hit by the brick too?" Chapter 752. Second brother, I'll have to trouble you. I can't reveal my identity now. Second brother? In the zither sound Saint Child's consciousness, he suddenly heard Chu Yang's voice transmission. Immediately, he was thrown into disarray. His eyes widened as he thought, this exquisite, beautiful, and ferocious brat in front of him is Chu Yang. The saint's son was a little dumbfounded. "Second brother, can you not look like that? I'm already very hurt." Chu Yang's gloomy voice sounded. No matter how shocked the saint's son was, he could roughly confirm that this little kid in front of him was Chu Yang. "Little brother, how did you become like this?" With Chu Yang's current appearance, even if an old monster were to come, he would absolutely not be able to see any clues. Because the current Chu Yang was absolutely only 7 or 8 years old. This was not something that could be achieved by any kind of body-changing technique. "Second brother, I'll tell you in detail later. Pretend that you can't beat him." After Chu Yang's voice transmission ended, he immediately pointed at the saint's son. "Hey, you are the leader of this group of idiots. Where is my idol? Hurry up and tell me." The saint's son knew that this was Chu Yang, but when he looked at that exquisite little face and heard that tender voice, he was still a little confused. In the end, he couldn't help but want to laugh out loud. Whoosh! Chu Yang flew over at an astonishing speed which shocked the saint's son. Then, he pretended to be restrained by Chu Yang. "No, no, no. Don't give me a brick too." The saint child felt that his disguise was too different from his usual self, but that was all he could do. This was his limit. "I don't know where your idol is. I can tell that you are honest at first glance. I think what you said is true." When Chu Yang spoke, Chao Ju and the other two were very depressed. This little nephew was too unkind. Why was the saint's son a good person, and they were bad people? "You don't know where my idol is?" Chu Yang suddenly pointed at Qian Aoshue. "Then you should know whether this woman is my idol's woman or not, right?" "Of course I know. The saint child didn't know whether to laugh or cry. There was no need for her little brother to be ashamed of his junior sister. Qian Aoshue had already covered her face in front of all her brothers and sisters. She really had no face to live. Ha ha! Chu Yang laughed mischievously. You still know how to be shy. Seeing that you're my idol, I'll give you a way out for now. I won't embarrass you to death, haha. Also, in order to ensure that I get accurate information, I must interrogate you in isolation. Chu Yang was about to leave with the saint child, but his voice drifted back. After I finish interrogating this thing, I will come back to interrogate you guys. All of you better be mentally prepared. Soon, Chu Yang and the saint child reached a safe place. The saint child asked, "Little brother, what happened to you?" "Reincarnation." Chu Yang sighed, extremely depressed. The saint child was shocked at first, then immediately became speechless. When she saw Chu Yang's bitter face again, she completely lost her temper. If it was reincarnation, it was a fortune that many people couldn't get even if they begged for it. In particular, some old monsters couldn't wait to use reincarnation to return to their old age. The reason why it was said to be a great fortune was that it was equivalent to living a second life. Especially Chu Yang, it was almost equivalent to superimposing two lives. It was simply unimaginable how powerful his life origin was. No wonder my little brother could trigger the Red Lotus Hellfire. I'm afraid he has already sent millions of souls into reincarnation. The reason why he could do so is because he went through reincarnation and obtained this fortune. It should be a kind of good karma. The saint child guessed roughly, but the more she thought about it, the more shocked she became. Her little brother was really too heaven-defying. Not to mention the eastern wilderness, even in the East continent, he was definitely an unparalleled genius. Karma was an extremely important factor for those who had millions of souls in their hands, but not everyone could trigger reincarnation. To be exact, it should be impossible, but Chu Yang had done it. Chapter 753. Second brother, let's not talk about this depressing matter anymore. Depressing? Why don't you let me down as well? Saint Sun Zither Melody was speechless again. Chu Yang was obviously taking advantage of the situation. Second brother, the desolate demon isn't dead. He's just being suppressed by the Eastern Wilderness Great Emperor on Emperor Island. Chu Yang's voice turned slightly serious. This time, when Emperor Island opens, the demon race is preparing to rescue the desolate demon. The desolate demon isn't dead. Saint Sun Zither Melody was shocked. He knew about Emperor Island and the Eastern Wilderness Great Emperor. Naturally, he knew about the desolate demon. If the desolate demon wasn't dead and was rescued by the demon race, the Eastern Wilderness would be in for another calamity. It was no wonder that Chu Yang, who was always laughing and joking, had become serious at this time. Also, Chu Yang spoke again. Before the desolate demon was suppressed, he left behind 7 desolate demon eggs. Now, a desolate demon prince has hatched. With the desolate demon prince, the demon race is trying their best to plunder the Eastern Wilderness's natural source. What? Saint Sun Zither Melody was shocked again. This news was too shocking. Not only did a desolate demon prince hatch, but the Eastern Wilderness's natural source was being plundered by the demon race. Little brother, are you sure? The news was too shocking, and the consequences were unimaginable. Saint Sun Zither Melody couldn't believe it and asked again. It shouldn't be wrong. Chu Yang frowned and said, I got this news from the souls of an eagle demon and a condor demon. The demon race is also very wary of me. They are afraid that I will enter Emperor Island and ruin their plans. They are scheming to eliminate me before Emperor Island opens. The desolate stone was actually a piece of evidence, but it was all absorbed by Chu Yang. Apart from that, I also looted the little golden rock king and the others and obtained something that they called the Desolate Stone. The energy contained in the stone can not only nourish the body, but also the mind and soul. I'm sure that the energy contained in the stone is most likely the Eastern Wasteland's source energy. Chu Yang also explained the Desolate Stone in detail. The Zither Saint frowned and sighed. If that's the case, then this matter is pretty much settled. Once they obtain the Eastern Wilderness's natural source, the demon race's strength will continue to increase. The longer this goes on, the more unimaginable the consequences will be. Second brother, that's why I came to see you. Chu Yang then exhorted, Second brother, when you pass the news back, you must be careful. Now I reckon that because of me, there are definitely a lot of things that are eyeing you. I know. Saint Child Zither thought for a while and said, Little brother, we can also tell this secret to Sea Demon City. Yeah. Chu Yang slapped his thigh and said, If the Sea Demon City sends the news, then it will be even more foolproof. Although the Sea Demon City had a close relationship with the demon race, stealing the natural source of the Eastern Wilderness was something that the city lord of the Sea Demon City, Hai Wuya, was not willing to see. After all, he was also a creature of the Eastern Wilderness. The demon race would rise again and completely crush the human race. This was not something that Hai Wuya wanted to see. If at that time, the power of both sides would be unbalanced, and he would not be able to act like a fish in water between the two sides. He might even be annihilated by the demon race. Also, Saint Sun Chinin added, other than the demon race, you have to pay more attention to the Longhu sect, the Wei nation, the Qi nation, the Wu nation, and the Han nation. They might have designs on you, especially the Longhu sect and the Wei nation. Dragon Tiger sect? Chu Yang was somewhat surprised. The Wei country was easy to understand. After all, he had killed the Wei country's third princess and the city lord of the Metal Origin City. That's right. Saint Child Zither nodded and said, the Dragon Tiger sect and the Soul Devourer clan used to be very close. I heard that when the Soul Devourer clan was besieged, someone from the Dragon Tiger sect tipped off the Soul Devourer clan in advance. The elders think that the Dragon Tiger sect might be problematic. Therefore, if you meet the Dragon God Son and Tiger God Son of the Dragon Tiger sect, you must be careful. Emperor Island appeared again. This time, the princes of Wei, Wu, Qi, and Han country had all come. The Dragon Tiger sect and Seven Stars sect had also come. At this moment, in the Sea Demon City, there were many heroes gathered. There were crooks mixed in with the honest folk. Undercurrents surged and dangers lurked. It was extremely complicated. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.